What is up? What's up, man? This is NBA basketball, playoff basketball at its best. At its best.
It's basketball.
Yeah, it's definitely basketball. Man. I mean, dude, looking at this game, I mean, Philly had the game, and then I don't know, man. 8 points in the fourth quarter. Embiid's got to do more, but Doc Rivers, come on, man.
Look at the shot.
Yes,
You almost hit that too.
but you can't. I mean, it's just bad basketball right here.
They're gonna end up losing this game.
They're gonna They're gonna lose. They are gonna lose, and they had the game in hand, and they're gonna lose.
And got another possession. Yeah. Look at PJ.
Yeah, exactly. Let's go. Because he's like, what are we doing? They're not running no offense. It's just, take the ball. Go. Hey, Embiid, how about you just post up Horford?
Here we go. Double. Move. Where's the help? Fade away. Good shot.
Shouldn't take that. Sheesh. I don't know. Tatum ain't done nothing, but they're going to let him, get in the flow. He ain't done much, but he's going to get something.
You can't front guard.
Yeah, got to turn around. They don't let you do that. No. That's a high school thing. Even if you ain't touching them, they don't let you do that.
Got to put your ass on them.
Which is what they teach you in elementary school.
Yeah, I don't know what this is. Look at that.
Grab and hold and just turn around, man. That's the problem with you folks.
Still. Ball don't lie.
AAU basketball. No fundamentals. No fundamentals.
Ooh. 2-man.
Just get the ball.
Oh, nice. And one. Oh.
Charge. I thought he called charge.
He did call charge. I don't know why they're celebrating. They called a charge. I thought he was in the dotted though. Can't see his feet.
He's moving though. That you can't call that. He's moving. He's moving up.
And I'm trying to go around him.
Yeah, he's moving up into him. That's an and one. And one.
They're not gonna flop it though.
They might. Speaking of flopping and ones, I mean, so this series, this Laker Warrior series, looks like it's changed. Another adjustment was made, and basically what it came down to, Golden State, the first two games, they shot the lights out. Literally shot the lights out. And the first game, the Lakers didn't play into their hands and said, we're going to pound you inside, and won.
Right.
Golden State doesn't shoot the lights out. The Lakers go back to, we're going to pound you inside, and the game's a blowout.
Right.
So, the adjustment that they made the last game, it did not work this game. They said, Jermichael Green, you can't play in this series. No. We're going to pound you inside. You have no place in this series. So that adjustment's out the window that Golden State made. Literally out the window.
Well, the Lakers also made the decision to go ahead and get the ball out of Steph's hand.
Out of his hand.
Which they started to do game 2, but Clay caught fire.
Correct.
So other than a couple times when AD didn't help up on Clay came off the pick and roll and had 2 wide open threes. He nailed both, of course.
Right.
But after that adjustment, I mean, it was a wrap. Like he wasn't getting open shots. Every shot was contested. Even if people were going over the screen, they were still right at his shooting arc, trying to bottom.
Yes.
So I thought they did a good job of getting the ball out of Steph's hand You know, you put Vando on Steph, like he has as much energy, if not more than Steph. Like
Correct.
he's
And
full
he's more
court.
athletic.
I'm picking you up full court.
Yep. He's way more athletic too.
Yeah.
And bigger.
Yeah. So you take those two guys out, and then Draymond had no points and 5 fouls, like in a blink of an eye.
He had no impact on the game.
So you take, I mean, without those three, you're gonna get blown out by 30 every time.
You know, and Jordan Poole went back to playing like Jordan Poole. You know, he again, he can't guard anybody, so he can't play in the series. If he's not making shots, he literally can't play.
Yeah. So we had this conversation before about the year after you get in the bag. Another episode. I don't know if you remember.
I do.
This is it. This is Jordan Poole right here.
He is just
this time last year he could not be stopped. Any team in the league would have paid him max to come play on their team.
Now let me ask you this. Does it have anything to do with him getting busted in his mouth and that guy still being on the team?
No.
It has nothing to do with it?
No.
Nothing at all.
I don't think so. I don't think so.
I think it does. I think it does. I'm just saying, guys are built differently. Ooh.
No.
Yes. The guys are built differently now than what they were, 15, 20 years ago. I get it. But at the same time, a man is still a man. If you bust me in my mouth and I think it's a cheap shot,
if somebody knock you,
I'm holding that grudge.
I'm different. Forever. So if somebody knock your shit loose, like you can't let them knock your game loose too. Like that's like motivation for you to come back and be like, hey, he might have got me, but I'm still that. This is why he was mad, because I'm that dude.
No. I believe it's different. He didn't get his get back. Just to look at it this way. Me and you and all of us teammates, we used to smack each other in the back of the head. We wasn't right until I got to smack you in the back of the head back. Otherwise, it's a problem for me. You're telling me this man knocked him out and he's just supposed to say, oh, well, I'm letting it go. I don't believe that. I don't believe it. I don't believe it.
I just don't think it has anything to do with his game.
I think it does mentally. I don't think mentally he's the same guy. Now, you could say that's because he got all that money, and I agree. But the dude on my team knocked me out, and my organization did nothing. Nothing. They just let it go.
I don't care. I don't think he cares.
Well, now that he made all that money, he may not care.
Well, not only that, but like just, of course, I don't know him personally, but like the vibe that he gives me, like, don't give a shit. Oh. Like he think he's that guy.
And he might. I don't know.
He think he's that guy.
Poole, to me, there's a good comment. Poole, overrated. And like you said, if he ain't making shots, what good is he? Because he can't guard a telephone pole.
He's been trash.
Yeah, he's been trash.
Let me get this out before I forget. You know who else has disappeared and nobody seems to notice and nobody cares, but everybody was on the bandwagon at the end of the season.
Who's that?
Austin Rivers.
He don't even play no more.
Where is he? He's out there. He's just not doing anything. He's doing nothing. He's giving you nothing right now.
But that's the thing. I don't know. He does nothing. He is borderline out the league. Literally, he's borderline out the league.
I don't know if he's out the league because he's shown enough that he can play, especially in the play-in tournament. The play-in tournament, they went to him.
Hold on. Who are you talking about? Austin Rivers?
Yes.
Doc's son? You're talking about Austin Reeves.
Austin Reeves, excuse me.
Okay. Austin Reeves hadn't done anything. He hadn't done anything. But I told you part of the problem was if he's guarding Clay, it was a problem. But Clay got hot. Then Clay didn't get hot. Austin Reeves is what he is. This is a series. If Clay, first of all, Clay's guarding him. So if Clay's guarding him, he's kind of shutting off what he can do. Clay can guard you. I'm not saying he's a lockdown defender like he used to be, but he's doing all right.
What up, Bakari? But he's just not doing anything. Like as much hype as he was getting,
no,
towards the end of the year,
He's solid.
He's
He's just
nowhere to be found right now
he's
in this
being
series.
solid. He's solid. He's not hurting them, but he's not taking over the game. The guy that is Snitch Russell.
Yes.
Snitch Russell is doing his thing. You know, so and that's one of the reasons they got him. Because first of all, Snitch Russell is a better shot creator, better shooter. He's not a better defender. But, you know, on the offensive end, you want the ball in Snitch Russell's hand. You want the ball in his hand more than not that Reeves is going to give you bad plays. But as far as creative wise and scoring the basketball, Snitch Russell is that guy. He's that dude. He is that dude. Think Russell's the MVP? That's not awful. That's not an awful take. He's playing well. He's playing now in game 2. He played well, but AD didn't show up and they got blown out. So I still say AD. I don't think AD has to get you 35 and 17, but AD's got to play. He just got to play. He can't get 11 points and the Lakers win. That's not going to happen. That's just not going to happen. And if, you know, history repeats itself, game 4 may be looking like that he is.
Oh, he hit it. Was that in time?
Too late. Oh, they're giving it to him, but they're going to take a look. Ball game. They're walking off. Celtics are walking off. They got it. 76ers say no. Oh, no, it was late.
2-2.
Ooh. They tried to give it away, didn't they? Is it? Oh, yeah, he's late. He did. Yeah, oh, yeah. That's late. That's late. That's late. Well, 2-2.
Well, there we go.
The most valuable player in the Warriors series is Green. The offense looked trash without him. I disagree. I mean, while the offense looked trash,
half of that sentence is correct. The other half is bullshit.
Yeah. The offense did look trash, but I mean, they got beat by 30. It's because Anthony Davis said, Draymond Green, you can't guard me. And that was it. And got him in foul trouble. So if he can't guard him, what are you going to do? You know, stay out of foul trouble. Here's the thing that somebody was arguing with me earlier today about this. And I said, you know, they're not complaining about the fouls because the free throw shooting has been lopsided. And I said, but one team is a jump shooting team and the other one isn't. The other one drives and plays inside. Yeah, but the foul shooting still shouldn't be this. I go, Golden State doesn't draw fouls like that, and the Lakers do. The Lakers been top 5 in free throw shooting all year long. So if they're top 5 in free throws attempted, that continues in the playoffs. Golden State don't do that. They shoot jump shots. So it's going to be lopsided. And you don't want it to be lopsided, drive to the basket.
Let's see if I can find somebody said that on Instagram today. See if I can find it and put it up.
Like, it's just, you know, play inside out. But they can't play inside out because they don't have no inside. And that's the difference. You know, they can't throw the ball to anybody inside.
Here it is.
So, and Looney, that's a good point, Bakari. Looney is a big guy, but he can't score. You can't throw the ball into him and say, go get me a basket. He can't do that. You know? And is he really a good defender? Because that was the whole point, is Anthony Davis just took him to school. Yeah, he's all rebounds. Gets nothing but rebounds, which is great. But that's not going to win. You can't win that way. You cannot win that way.
Let's see if I can play this.
All right.
me out there right quick. Both Lakers win. The free throws are like this.
Can you hear that?
85 points, 11 free throws. They completely took Draymond out of the game. 2 charges were called for blocks. I'm not going to act like my dog's not scared to go in the paint to lay the ball up. I'm not going to act like that. AD is holding shit down in that paint. Folks is scared to go in that paint. I'm not lying. I can't lie about that. But the difference in this game, just like the other Lakers win, was the free throws. That's weird. That's weird. Let them win a game. Let them actually win a game. Let them actually win a game. Damn.
See, that's the uneducated fan. that's the uneducated fan right there.
Or is it 1-1?
It took me by surprise because he's actually knowledgeable about the game. See? But he's a Golden State fan.
He's a Golden State fan, that he's in his feelings. And he said it at the beginning, though.
He explained it, why it's like that, but then I don't know.
Then he went back to fandom.
Yeah, he did.
That's what happened. He explained exactly what was going on. AD's not having any of that shit around the rim. And he's not.
Fandom is a powerful drug.
It is a powerful drug because he knows what's going on in there. I'm not going to say that they're scared, but AD's knocking back everything that we bring in here. Well, then what the hell are we talking about? So, I mean, that's how it goes, though, man. That's how it goes sometimes. That is how it goes. James Harden. I don't know if I'm Embiid if I pass that one out. I mean, I know it won him the game, but you're at 3 feet with Tatum on you. Don't you just take that up?
I would imagine.
I mean, you're a 7-footer with, Jason Tatum on you, and you're at 3 feet. You just take that one up.
Well, I've seen some people turn down that shot and get barbecued.
Exactly. So, oh well.
Oh nah, yo, why you chasing his own man? He's really backdoor season. You try to go, what was the reason?
Get out of here.
Yeah, get out of here. So I don't know. That Lakers series, game 4 is gonna be interesting. It's gonna be interesting because an adjustment's gonna happen. Is Darvin Ham good enough as a coach to make an in-game adjustment to keep them in it so they can win? It's fine to make the adjustment after the game's over. Can you make and neither one of them have been able to do it. I mean, Kerr made his adjustment, after game 1. It was great. Then Darvin Ham makes his adjustment after game 2. Kerr don't adjust in game. I mean, can they figure out a way to get Steph more shots? That's my thing, is because the one adjustment that they had is have him bring the ball up, but if you're switching, they're double teaming the screen, saying you're going to pass this basketball, and then what?
It's tough. It's going to be tough for Steph if the Lakers think they found something, because it's tough for Steph to get off a shot
because of height.
But not only height, but because he's still close to you. He's quick enough and he's athletic enough to be close enough to you for his height to be effective.
Correct. That's what I meant. I should have just said that. He's there. And so, as good as Steph is with the ball, you can be good with the ball. But I got length. And you can't, you can be as tricky as you want to be. I'm still going to be there. So,
all right, let's run the look at the box score.
I mean, it's tricky. Do we think Denver will close out this series with Phoenix? Yeah.
Close out yeah. Honestly, I haven't been paying that series too much attention.
It's too much,
but
man.
it's
they got to do too much.
Denver just has too much.
Yep.
And they're deep. They're way deeper than Phoenix. And if KD and Book don't score 80, which their offense looks better without CP3.
It looks way better without him, which is crazy to say.
It's easier for them to get 80 between them two without CP3.
Correct.
So it's almost a whole different series, but with CP3 out, you're even thinner than you were before.
Yeah. So. Yeah, you are. You are. You definitely are. The thing about it is it's just people underestimate a good bench. And I don't think you should underestimate a good bench. So
no, don't do that.
Let's see. Well,
Jason
Tatum didn't do nothing.
Yeah,
the first half, he only had 2 points. So, he was 1 for 10 in the first half. Trying to shoot jumpers. Like, get to the rim when you ain't making a shot. And in the second half, he did that.
And he can.
Yeah,
he can do that.
I'm going to say this, and I've been saying it. When Marcus Smart has more shots or just as many shots as Jaylen Brown, it's tough for you to win a basketball game.
Yeah. If it wasn't for Smart's longevity and his defense, this guy would get
it's tough for you to and Brogdon was playing, but he fouled out. Yeah. But it's tough for you to win when he has just as many shots as Jaylen Brown, man. It's tough. And then Embiid didn't shoot great. He struggled. He did his free throw line thing, which is what he always does.
Right.
But they didn't have anybody else do anything. And that's been the problem for the 76ers, man. Somebody was telling me their bench. I'm like, the 76ers don't have a bench. And that's their problem. They don't have a bench. So Harden goes bananas.
Bananas again.
And that's how they won.
6 for 9, 42 points.
That's why, again, it's not sustainable.
Turnover as the primary ball handler.
And that was a charge. So that's what, was great. The thing about Harden is he had to go bananas. And they won by a point because the last second shot came a tenth of a second late. That's not sustainable, man. You can't win like that. You cannot win like that. But then again, it goes to show, is Boston ready to win a title, Kamish? I don't think they are, man. Not playing like this. They're not ready to win.
If you put them in the game, in the series, like, give anybody a shot, they got a shot, right? But
right.
I think they've been in it for a long enough time to know what it feels like, to know what to expect. Like they've been through the rigors. They just haven't won it. They like the Bills. When they went to the AFC to the Super Bowl 4 years in a row. Like they've been in it, like right at the wire.
Yeah.
Of winning one.
Okay.
So, and that's when they were younger, less experienced, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
Not as good as they are now.
Mm-hmm.
And they've, which doesn't happen in the NBA. They've stuck together. They have the same people. Horford left
and came back.
Back. They got the same pieces.
They do.
So that's the only thing. Like I can't look past them. I can't look past them because they still got the tools. Jaylen and Tatum are like two of some of the best players in the league we still got. So you can't. Either one of them can go off, and they're both hard to stop because they have mid-range game, they have three-point game, and they can get to the rack.
They do, but I think the problem is there's a comment down there talking about from Bakari, no superstar. I'm not going to put Tatum as a superstar, not yet. You got to do it consistently, and too many times he's inconsistent with his play. Too many times, man. You got to do it more than, okay, he'll have an outstanding game. And the next game, game 5, he's going to play outstanding. But then in game 6, he's going to disappear. You can't be a superstar and be in that category. You can't do that. You cannot do that. And he does that too often.
Well, yeah. I think he's a star. I don't think he's a superstar. That's why they put those pieces around him.
Correct. And maybe, he's not there yet. I know he's still young, but at some point, the youngness has got to wear off. At some point. I mean, it's not his third year in the league, man.
No.
It's not his third year in the league. And, and again, I know I said it earlier. I'm going to say it again. Jaylen Brown or Marcus Smart has just as many shots or close to just as many shots as Jaylen Brown. It makes it tough. I mean, it makes it tough.
Tatum is really the only inconsistent player they got.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't say Smart's inconsistent.
But you're not expecting anything from Marcus.
That's right.
You're expecting defense, toughness for him to dive on the ball.
That's right.
When the ball is too far for him to even get, he knows he's not going to get it.
Yeah.
He's just going to hit the ground anyway. Like, you're going to get that every single time.
Correct.
Whether you get points from him or not, whatever. You know what I'm saying? You're not expecting that. But we're expecting Tatum to score.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you're expecting Tatum to
score. And then when he doesn't do that, but he's still shooting, that's the problem.
That's the problem.
Because you can't stop shooting. You can't stop shooting, and you can lock down on defense. Like, you can give us something.
I don't know. We'll see. They got to be better, though. But Philly, no bench, Doc Rivers as your coach, there's your handicaps. And they were able to win another game.
Doc is a great coach.
Doc is one of the worst coaches that gets all this credit, all the longitude. I mean, Jiminy Christmas, this guy missed the 3-1. Whew. Oh, well.
So the one thing I was bracing for the last Lakers game was that what is it? The famed Golden State third quarter run that they always go on. For some reason, they come out of halftime and they blow everybody out the water. Lakers had a lead, and I was like, if Lakers can get through the third quarter, they're gonna be okay.
Mm-hmm.
And Golden State came out and they were still flat. I was like, okay, well, it's not happening today. But they can go off like that.
Yeah.
Quick.
But they did. Remember, the Lakers went up 15 early, and then they cut the lead. They actually got up to 17, and then they cut the lead and had the ball down 10. And I thought, uh-oh.
So
if
you
they
tell
make
me,
a shot here.
You tell me overall, as a team, what let me see. What allows you to be so good coming out of halftime in an NBA basketball game? Like, consistently. Like, what are you doing at halftime? As a coach, as a player, what is that magic sauce?
I think what they think is, not necessarily think, what they do is they put an emphasis on the first 5 to 7 minutes of the third quarter. I think that's what they do. They come out like, you know what, if we can press forward, either we're behind and we catch up quickly, or we got the lead and we can stretch this thing out quickly. I think as an organization, they have put the emphasis on the first 5 to 7 minutes of the third quarter and made that a huge priority in what they do on a night-to-night basis. Because I feel like they think, and they're right, if they got the lead and they can stretch that thing and get it to 17 or 18, they feel like, okay, the game's over. If we're behind and then we can catch up, then we give ourselves a chance. And I think that that's their mentality. Let's push the ball. Let's get up and down. Let's get as many good shots as we can get quickly, and let's get into this thing. And I think they just put an emphasis on that.
Right. So the announcers were making a big fuss about, I think they were going back and forth about LeBron AD not having to play the fourth quarter.
Okay.
And I think the argument was that either this don't matter in the long run, or does that one quarter on a man that's 38 years old in his 20th year, does that one quarter he can sit down a little bit earlier? Does that help him for the next game?
I mean, I think at 38, any minutes that you're not playing helps you.
Any second.
I mean,
like
any minute that you're not playing, running up and down a basketball court can help you recover for 48 hours later.
If I could sit down and just untie my shoes,
right,
I'm going to be great. just let me sit down and untie my shoes and pull my foot out halfway. I'm good.
People underestimate that. They underestimate it.
I was like, am I tripping?
Yeah, that matters. That matters.
That's why you load manage.
That's why you load manage. That's the whole point. Otherwise, why people do it if it don't matter? Yeah, it absolutely matters. I'm hoping, and I stopped watching because the game was over. Were the announcers agreeing that it helps?
No, it was Van Gundy was saying that it didn't.
Oh, Van Gundy's full of it.
Yeah.
He's full of shit. He's always full of shit on some shit like that, too.
He be wild with it, man. He be wild.
But the thing I like about Van Gundy, though, Van Gundy is that old school, hey, man, that ain't no flagrant. I don't care if he punched him and his teeth fell out. Hey, man, get up. It's a foul. Let's move on to the next play. Now, that part I can get down with Van Gundy. But the rest of it, Van Gundy is on some bullshit. He just is.
Most of the time, yeah. I got to agree with you. It'd be funny, though.
He is funny. He's funny. But, yeah, I'm like last night, the guy grabbed AD. What is it? I can't remember who it was. AD's running up the court, and he grabbed AD by the leg. Van Gundy, that's not a flagrant foul. I'm like, that's literally the definition of a flagrant foul.
Van Gundy don't go off the rule book, man.
No, he don't. He goes by a feel, like almost like a play-to-play basis.
Yeah.
Like if one play, okay, that was a foul. You go down the court, the very next play, well, that wasn't a foul. It was the same play. It doesn't matter. I'm like, okay, well, that's about as inconsistent as it gets. But I just, the series is interesting. Again, you're expecting Steph to go off, but is he going to the way that the Lakers are playing him? Because you're expecting that huge game. You know, the difference is Sacramento didn't have the pieces to stop Steph like that. They literally didn't have the pieces, and all they cared about was running up and down, and they didn't even try to play any defense. Well, the Lakers are trying.
Well, the Lakers have length to bother him.
Yes.
At the three-point line. They also have the length in the paint to bother him.
Correct.
Like he got float game out of this world, but AD got a couple of those.
Yes, he did. It's tough.
So, I mean, that you got to start changing your shot. And when you start changing your shot, that's when you start missing. So,
one adjustment that they can make.
I'm never going to count him out because, like, as bad as Poole has been, like, you still got to keep an eye on him.
Yeah, you do.
Because they only take a couple. He see a couple go through, you know, he could turn back into Poole from last year in an instant.
He can. He can.
So that could be something because they're paying a lot of attention to Curry and Thompson. And if they can get somebody else to start doing something, anything.
Right.
And then after they have to start putting some attention on them, then here comes Curry and here comes Clay.
Right? I feel like the Lakers they're picking their poison, and they have decided if Clay makes a bunch of shots to beat us, we'll live with that. If Jordan Poole makes a bunch of shots to beat us, we'll live with that. We are not going to let Steph Curry beat us.
Yeah.
I think that's what they're saying.
I think they're saying that about both of them.
About who?
I think it started with Steph, but the last game they played, I feel like they said neither Curry or Clay are going to beat us.
Well, and you're right. They got out on them. And I think they're going to live with, if you throw the ball to Draymond and have him make a play, we'll live with him. And even if you're getting layups, we'll live with it. Because I feel like they can recover and bother enough shots, but not going to let those guys beat us. Because even game one, you look at game one, they made 23 3-pointers. They shot 50% from three and lost. I mean, that don't happen very often.
No, they don't.
So, I think, the way that the series is going right now, man, it's just, I think the Lakers have made an adjustment. Yeah, look at the box score from game one. It's like they were lighting it up. You had 3 guys that made 6 3-pointers. That's insane. And you lose.
40 from 3, 40% overall, 40 from 3.
And you lose that game. That's not normal.
No.
And the Lakers just said we'll live with that, but we're not going to let Steph get 50. We're just not going. We're not going to accept that. We're not going to let that happen. It's going to be tough, man. It's going to be tough for Golden State. I mean, they'll make an adjustment, but it's like somebody said earlier, Snitch Russell has been the MVP. If Snitch Russell is doing his thing, man, what are you going to do?
Yes, it's a wrap, but like he's been off too.
Yeah.
Like he's had games that he hasn't been great. So like he's almost like AD, but the difference is like we're not looking for Russell to carry the team to be the deciding factor every game.
LeBron hadn't gone off yet either.
Not really.
LeBron hadn't really,
It seemed like he's just like he's load managing while playing.
Yeah. It's like I can't give it to you the entire game.
Right. He knows he's like maximum. He's got what?
2.5 quarters.
19 more games.
Yeah.
To get this done.
I think that's his thinking is like, I can give it to you for 2.5 quarters, but y'all got to carry me, or carry us these other quarters.
Yeah, look at this. They won this game.
Mm-hmm. They just killed him inside. They couldn't stop him. They killed him.
24 for 25 from the free throw line.
And that partly this last game in game 3, Golden State, if you're going to allow the Lakers to stay within striking distance without LeBron taking a shot for 12 minutes, then you deserve to lose. I mean, literally, they let him stay within striking distance. LeBron didn't even attempt a shot. Now, I'm not saying that he didn't affect the game, but he didn't even attempt the shot in the first 12 minutes that he played, and you allowed him to stay close. Well, then it's just what you said. Then all of a sudden he turned it on and started giving maximum effort. They couldn't do nothing. It's wild. It's wild. But we'll see, man. We'll see. Philly just won the championship. Philly was fine, man. Philly's dealing with a handicap. No bench and Doc Rivers as their coach. What do you expect out of them? I mean, you can't, there's only so much you can do.
Doc has a championship, right?
Okay. Me and you would have a championship coaching that team too. I mean, Doc, let's just ask this. How many championships should Doc have? Let's start there.
Well, you can't count any years with the Clippers.
Why?
The Clippers were never going to and are never going to win a championship. I mean, it's been this way forever. So
I don't believe
let's just start with that. It doesn't matter who the coach is.
I don't believe that. They had their opportunities.
And they still do. And where they sitting now?
Yeah, but that's different. They got a guy that literally is made of plastic.
And they signed him.
And they signed him to oh my God. That's a conversation for another day, but I mean, we can talk. I mean, Kawhi, he can be as great as he wants, but if you're always hurt when they need you, people say, well, you can't blame them for being hurt. I'm like, I'm not saying that you can, but I don't have to have you on my team, do I? I mean, if you're not going to be around when I need you to be around, well, I mean, what? I'm sorry you're hurt, but get up out of here. You can get somebody else.
Thing for me is he's been that way from like out the gate. Like you knew what you were getting. You know what I'm saying? Like, San Antonio, Toronto, like you weren't going to get 82 games. You weren't even going to get close to 82 games out of him.
60 max.
Yeah.
And then,
which was why they had to pay him. They had to pair him with somebody because when he wasn't there,
correct,
was gonna have to carry the load. And they knew that.
Well, the issue
struggles,
right, is that you just hope and pray in the playoffs. Well, he plays 60 games to load manage for the playoffs, and he keeps getting hurt in the playoffs. I mean, sheesh. I mean, what else are you supposed to do? And again, I don't blame him for being hurt. I'm never going to blame him for being hurt. But I can say, hey, man, I'd rather have somebody else on my team. Somebody else that I can depend on. So when the time comes, let's go win. So here's a comment. Kawhi isn't that dude. And see, now I disagree. Because I think he is that dude when he's healthy.
Yeah, I disagree too.
He is that dude when he's
healthy. I don't
healthy.
like his style of play. It's not exciting. There's nothing exciting about him, but you can't stop him.
You can't stop him.
And he's a threat on both sides of the ball.
Absolutely.
Both ends of the court, I should say.
Way stronger than what people think that he is. He's a mid-range, just assassin. He'll dunk on you if you give him the opportunity. If he gets a step, he'll dunk on you. He knocks down the three, and he's going to guard you at the other end. So, I don't know. I don't know. And you're going to have to stop with the Kawhi sound effect. I can't deal with that. See? You're doing too much. You're doing too much. So let's talk about this.
Oh, hold on. Let's run this real quick.
Okay.
Kawhi is not that dude. Oh, let me pull this up. Got the wrong screen up.
Yeah, people are tripping saying Kawhi ain't that dude. He absolutely is that dude. Absolutely. Too much.
It's not even like they showing dunks and dunks on these all straight arm dunks that mean you ain't get that high.
Nope.
You ain't cock it back, you didn't bend your arm, you didn't do nothing.
Nope.
But his highlights to me are like how consistent he is in his mid range. Like if he gets to the elbow or to the free throw line, it's cash money. Like it's going in. Yep. I don't care who's there, how many hands you got up. Doesn't matter.
Yep. And it's wild because in college, that was his knock. He can't make jump shots. And now you can't leave him open because he's making all the jump shots.
So where are you about to go with it?
Oh, talking about this Knicks series, this Knicks Heat series. I think the series is over. I think the series is completely over. The Knicks don't have a chance. They had a chance in game 3. Jimmy Butler came back and said, no, y'all don't have a chance. That was embarrassing. That was embarrassing. And then for your main guys to shoot so bad in a pivotal playoff series is disgraceful. Brunson struggled. Julius Randle struggled. And then your number 3 is RJ Barrett. He struggled. They don't have a chance. The Heat have said, we're locking these guys up. You're going to have to work for everything you get. And if you have a bad game, you get beat. You can't beat us. All 3 of them have to play good for them to win. Or Jimmy Butler doesn't play. Jimmy Butler plays. If one of you have a bad game, you can't beat us. That's not a good feeling, Commish. That's not a good feeling.
The thing is, if you're an overachieving team and you play long enough, you're going to eventually stop overachieving.
You're exactly right.
It's going to come to an end at some point. And right now, like
That's the Knicks.
Miami Heat is an overachieving team too, but they're playing an overachieving team. So one of them got to win. So
and
we weren't expecting the Knicks to be here.
No, we weren't.
It's exciting for the Knicks fans that they are, but we wasn't expecting them to be here. Like we weren't in the beginning of the season or end of the season saying the Knicks are going to go deep into the playoffs.
No,
nobody was saying that.
Nobody was saying that. Nobody was saying that.
It's not surprising. I was just waiting for which one of them was going to stop overachieving. We saw Miami in the bubble go all the way to the end. And
we did
get blown out by the Lakers.
We did.
Their achievement tail is just longer, I guess. I mean,
but they got guys that can guard.
I'm not worried about either one of those teams, honestly. Like once whoever wins is going to lose the next round.
Yeah. Sixers and the Celtics are better than the Heat.
Disrespectful.
It's not disrespectful.
I'm just saying, man.
Yeah. The Knicks. Here's the thing about the Knicks. Like I said, if one of their three main guys doesn't play well, they can't win a game. That's a tough space to live in.
And whoever that is, I don't want no smoke. You don't want to lose no friends over this.
The problem is that you're right. They're a bunch of they're overachievers. Both teams. I like the Heat way better than I like the Knicks roster. But the thing is, Miami got a dude. The Knicks don't have that. Miami got a dude. The Knicks do not have a dude. Don't talk to me about Jalen Brunson. I like Jalen Brunson, but Jalen Brunson is a piece. He is not the dude.
Right.
He is a piece. And, they're just tougher. Just tougher guys. Guys that can make shots. They got guys that can make shots. I mean, the Knicks don't have that. So.
Oh, that's Houston, man. You're supposed to be on the show, man. I sent you a link in the chat. You and
he don't want to get on here. He knows better. That's the problem.
No. You got to show your face, buddy.
See,
you got to show your face. Look in the messenger. Hop on.
But look, all that trash he's been talking for the last month. New York everything. That's all he's been saying. New York everything. New York this. All of a sudden, they get into a series where the Knicks can't win. Quiet as a field mouse.
He ain't never been that way. I'm surprised. I'm disappointed.
Quiet as a field mouse, man. Sad, but they can't win this series. They're not winning it. They're not winning. I don't even think they're gonna win another game. I'm not giving them another game. If Jimmy Butler's playing, they ain't winning another game. Can't do it.
Yeah, man. So I don't know what part of what I said was disrespectful. I'm just trying to figure because I said a little bit. So
I mean, people can't deal with the truth sometimes. You know how that works. New York, everything. Nothing but losses. We'll see. We will see.
So what's shit?
There we go. Yeah, good.
Disrespectful, bro. Go ahead, man. Y'all ain't right. Yo, wait,
hold on. Whoa. One damn minute here. Now, what the hell is going on?
What do you have on right now?
What do you have on?
Left coast?
And admitting that he's the GOAT. I was about to admit it, but nah, I see how y'all do me. We good, bro.
What part of what I said was disrespectful?
The part that you said that, oh man, that was a lot though. You said basically that Miami is overachieving, New York's overachieving, and one of them got to go, right? That's what you said, right? It ain't gonna be New York. It's 2-1. We sitting all right.
The series is over.
Okay, so you're not out of it by the win-loss column.
There hadn't been enough games yet.
But strategic wise, what do y'all need to do? to beat Miami.
Well, we got
win more games than them.
We got to make shots. It's bad. You got Toppin he can't hit the ocean. You got I mean, I don't know what's wrong with him. And he's so athletic, bro. You need to go to the hole. You got what's his name? Grimes. What is he doing out there? Nothing, absolutely nothing. And I think Jalen Brunson kind of forces it a little bit too much. But like I told you when we spoke last week, what's his name? Randall. I'm agitated with Randall, man, because every time he gets it, it's the same thing. It's another Carmelo throwback, man. That's what I've been telling folks, man, but they don't want to listen to me. Every time he gets it, that left-hand thing going right up, man. It don't even matter where he's at.
I'm going to give Randall a pass because I think that Randall's ankle is still hurt. I'm going to give him a pass. But the bottom line is he can't just continuously shoot them jump shots because they ain't going to go in. He got to do something else.
See,
they ain't going in.
Here's the deal, though. I mean, he said he was ready to play, right? So if you play, don't take your butt out there. Seriously. I mean, even though we lost that first game, we played better when he was on the bench. Toppin did play a lot better because he knew he had to come in there and play aggressive. Now, everybody kind of sitting back and watching Randall a little bit. And if you hurt, brother, you got to sit down. You got to know when to sit, you know? And I give Miami his credit. Miami is shooting lights out. I've never seen them shoot like that before.
No, they are.
I don't think anybody. Because what's his name? Stews? Is that his name? I know I heard it like 10 times. Stews.
Oh, yeah. Stews. I think it's Strauss, but whatever. It don't matter. He's shooting the lights out.
He is shooting lights out, man. And the only one that's really playing every game for us is Josh Hart.
Yeah, he's playing.
Josh Hart is playing hard, man. I mean, I'm a fan. I'm a fan of Josh Hart now, man. I knew he had talent, but I didn't know he had the heart he has, man. He's coming in there. He's adapted to the New York way of life. You know what I mean? The New York grind, play hard every play.
He's from Philly.
He's ready. I know he's from Philly. He's from Villanova kid.
Yeah.
Yeah, Villanova kid. But you know what? Villanova, so is Brunson. You know what I'm saying? Brunson and daggone Kyle Lowry. I can't stand him, though. I don't know who this is. That's like trash, man. Check up.
The bottom line is, you're right, is the Knicks, you know, their big three, if you want to call them a big three, Brunson, Randall, and Barrett are not getting it done. They're not getting it done. Randall, I think, is still hurt. We got to stop shooting jump shots. Need to start driving the ball to the hole. Barrett, I never thought was that good to begin with. He's a true number 3. I don't think he's that good. And Brunson, while I like Brunson a lot. Brunson is your complimentary 2. He's not going to be your number 1. This is playoff basketball. Things get tougher. Guys are bigger.
It's different.
And he is a complimentary 2 player. He is a number 2. He is not your number 1. You're not winning like that, man. You can't win like that.
He's not. And even Jimmy Butler himself, I don't think he's a number 1. But Jimmy Butler comes to play, man. And I think his effort, makes him look like he's a number 1. But he's no number 1 talent-wise. I mean, I can't personally say, I can't look at Jimmy Butler and say, this is what he does well. He kind of does everything above average. You know what I'm saying? He's not
shooting. Kawhi number 1? A healthy Kawhi, is he a number 1?
Heck no, man. You like Kawhi? Something about Kawhi. I think there's something missing. Maybe because he's crazy, for one.
What's
something wrong with that? Man, Monsters movie or something. I don't know what's going on there. Something wrong with that brother. But
so how many teams have a number 1 in your opinion? Yeah. So Kawhi's not a number 1. Jimmy Butler's not number 1. The Knicks don't have a number 1.
Oh no, we got a number. We got 2 threes. What we got, to be honest with you. We definitely don't. Miami doesn't, but they got a hell of a player.
Let's just stick to the playoffs. Who else? Teams left in the playoffs?
Teams left in the playoffs?
Denver.
I mean, of course, Curry. I mean, Curry's number 1. LeBron is a number 1, obviously. But AD should be the number 1. It's considering LeBron's age.
By now, yeah, he should be number
1. You got to step it up. And I think I'm going to watch Denver tonight, though. I'm going to watch Denver tonight because I watched a little bit of Denver the other day, and I felt like Jokic, he pushes a lot. I don't know how athletic he really is, but I couldn't tell. But I know it looked like he was balling.
He's not athletic at all.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Y'all can't stop that, but I see a lot of balls. I see a lot of elbows. I don't know if y'all noticed that.
He's super strong. He's super crafty. He's got a lot of skill. Athletic wise, he's not it because he doesn't have any athletic ability. But when you know how to play basketball, man, you know how to play basketball. That's just it.
I think from looking the little bit that I've watched him, I think he's a strong guy, like you said, and I think the rest. So the rest, I think, might let him get away with a little bit because they know, like, oh, if I blow the whistle, I might get my butt kicked or something. But he to me, he is playing a little aggressive on offense. But if that's his game, that's his game.
Yeah.
I am so disappointed that you jumped on this live.
Yeah.
In a Lakers jersey. What is going on?
Lakers jersey.
What's
I mean, you should be thrown out of New York. They should just throw you out of New York.
Here's the deal. See, look, y'all. Okay, that's for one. Y'all know New Yorkers. When it comes down to representing what's fly and what's hot, we're gonna put it on, bro. You know what I'm saying?
No.
You can't tell me a Knicks fan right this second that is showing up anywhere while the Knicks are still in the playoffs with a Los Angeles Lakers jersey. You can't tell. You can't find 5 on this planet.
This whole picture is wrong. Like nothing looks right in your frame.
This is sad. Just sad, man.
This is what it is, man. I mean, you got a guy who loves his team, but ain't ashamed to put on and give somebody credit when they see. That's the problem with half these people out there. They don't want to give people they do.
Y'all down. You just said y'all were down 2-1, and you done gave up on your team and put on another team's jersey. Why they still in the hunt? Where's your heart?
You know what it was?
They ought to burn your Knick card.
Nah, it was warm out there today, bro. So, it was the first day it was warm out there. So I was like, hey, man, I'm over here. I'm going to wear a little jersey. I'm going to hang out today. But, nah, man, I'm disappointed, man. I get on here and I hear y'all bashing my Knicks. I'm like, hold on. Don't try to change the subject, man. Why y'all coming for my boys like that, man? Come on, man.
I mean, okay, I get it. But you can't find a Pat Ewing jersey.
Oh, I got
You can't find an Allen Houston jersey, but maybe not Allen Houston. I know Knicks fans don't like Allen Houston that much.
What?
But come on, man.
I got one though. You know when I first started buying other people's jersey besides the New York Knicks jersey, and I'm gonna be 100% real with y'all. I never really appreciated Kobe while he was playing. I never appreciated Mike, and y'all know why? Because Mike, what he did to us all them years, I was like, I wouldn't even buy a pair of J's. I was so mad at that dude. But obviously, when Kobe went through his thing, I was just like, hey man, I missed out on watching Kobe because I wouldn't watch the Lakers because it was in New York. You know what I'm saying? So I kind of got myself up to watch other people because I am a fan of the game. So, but I got a Curry jersey. Y'all know that. I mean, like that's what it is. But my heart is in New York. That ain't gonna change, bro.
I just know. Look, somebody says Spreewell jersey. I love it. I love anything. Man, look. Any y'all in the group, do not somebody take a screenshot of this and put anytime he comes on here talking that noise, put this up next to his picture, next to his quote. I don't want to hear it.
This is not New York everything.
Yeah, it's not New York everything.
This is New York sometimes.
I don't want to hear it.
It's New York when I feel like it.
Just gave up on him down 2-1. Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
I'm gonna let y'all have that one.
Unbelievable, man. I can't believe it.
Man. So what's up with that Philly game, man? They done pulled it off, huh?
They tried to give it away, but they won at the end. So they made the play at the end. Again, I'm still not sure what Embiid was doing. You're at 3 feet. You got Tatum on you, and you don't go up for the shot. You kick it out. I'm like, come on, man.
That's Embiid, bro. That's Embiid.
I know you're not an Embiid guy.
Yeah,
right up your alley.
I mean,
is Embiid a number one?
No, absolutely
Jesus
not.
Christ.
Okay. Here we go.
And
there's only 3 number ones in the league.
You can do a voice on it and say it every time. You should say he is not number one. He ain't no number one, bro.
ED, he's MVP.
You know why he got the MVP, right? The NBA
best player.
It don't matter.
3 times in a row. That was it. That was
so. There are other players they could have gave it to.
No,
they gave it to Giannis.
Hell no,
Giannis not a one either.
Yeah, Giannis not a one.
Giannis is a one, but he wasn't playing his best ball this year.
What's the damn difference?
He wasn't playing his best ball this year.
Nah, I don't think he was. I don't think he. Numbers lie, man. Jay-Z said it best, man. Numbers lie. They do.
I tell you what, boy, this is raw. You know the kind of numbers you got to put up for him to be playing. My goodness, boy, this is rough.
So y'all gonna have to explain to the people when Philadelphia loses the series why MVP lost.
Bro, it's a lot of number ones sitting at home right now.
Yeah, I mean, I can tell you.
Talking about the 2023 number one, the one that's
I mean,
fun
yes,
right.
They're number ones at home right now.
Yeah, there's number ones at home right now. But I can tell you right now, Embiid, no bench, and Doc Rivers. There you go. That's why they lost.
So you think it's Doc Rivers' fault?
Doc Rivers don't help. I know your coach is supposed to help you, and he don't help.
No, he don't. I think he knows somebody because no matter what, he always gets a job. So I don't know what's going on there. But I don't. It's not that I dislike Embiid. I just feel like I guess the players around him they don't really fit his style, man. And to be honest, if y'all are saying build players around Embiid, right? How the hell you gonna build players around Embiid when he's at the 3-point line? So what? We got to start from the other side of the court.
I get what you're saying. You want his butt down on the post. I'm with you on that. Get in the post more often. You're right. Yeah. You're right.
Remember Patrick Ewing? Patrick Ewing, when he got a little older, he did develop a little outside jumper, but he went out when he needed to. He was not out there all the time.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's different, but I get what you're saying. And I've heard his stance on that, talking about you can't win that way anymore, which I think is bullshit. Yeah, you can. You can absolutely win that way.
Because
he just don't do it. There you go. His body doesn't hold up. That's what it is, bro. You can't tell me that you can't bully the guy. Because first of all, Embiid's 310 pounds. Okay, yeah. He is not no 280. Embiid's 310 pounds minimum. You can't tell me that he can't bully those guys on the post. That's just not what he wants to do.
He can't handle it. You know, he can't handle that every night. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, at least he knows that. But he can't say that you can't win in today's game playing way out there, bro. I mean, come on, man.
You can win in the post. That's his thing. He says you can't win that way anymore. I'm like, yeah, you can. I know they got zone defenses, and so that can neutralize some of that. I get it, but try. How about you try?
Oh, he ain't going
to see what happens.
If Philly makes it out of the East,
who said that?
I said that.
That was some.
If Philly makes it, if Philly makes it out of the East, which they beat Boston, they're going to make it out of the East.
Ooh, that's tough. If
they
Philly
can win it,
New York's making it too.
They can win. I can see MB and AD canceling each other out, and I feel like Philly got enough pieces.
There is no chance. There's no chance that if Philly did not making it out of the East, number one, but if they did, they don't match up with who do they match up good with that's left in the West? They don't match up good. I mean, they don't match up good with the Lakers. There ain't no way.
Ain't no way.
No, they don't. The Lakers, first of all, the Lakers bench would murder the Sixers bench.
Okay, so let's walk through it. AD can't help. AD can't help nobody.
Okay.
So that eliminates him. So what we've been talking about the whole time.
Well, who do they have that's going to be shooting lights out like that?
Struggles, what happens? The Lakers lose.
Okay. But
now, if he struggles on offense and he can't help on defense, so that's not a struggle, but you got a more of assignment on the man that you're guarding.
Like, okay.
The game is tied to you.
Is Embiid going to average 40?
No.
Okay. So who else is going to score? Because we know Harden ain't going to just average 40. We know that. We know what he's going to do.
He has been.
But no, he's had 2 games. And the other 2 games
in the series.
There's been 4, and the 2 he played like garbage. Didn't play bad. He played like garbage. So let's just start there. So it ain't going to be Harden. Who else is going to do anything?
We're going to act like your number one MVP is gone, and you go off.
I didn't say that
for 45, and he's not that guy, and he can't come into the Lakers, the series with the Lakers and come out with a win.
Do you think that is realistic, or is that
I don't know
more
if it's realistic
hopeful?
or not?
Is it more
it's
hopeful?
Not, it's definitely not hopeful. Definitely not hopeful.
Or Harden, if you're dependent on Harden to go off for 45 points so you can win,
but you don't have. That's not what I'm saying. You don't have to.
Okay.
You don't have. He did that because Embiid was gone. If Embiid is gone, yes, we need 50 from Harden against the Lakers.
Embiid played today.
Yeah.
You know why he?
Well,
because he had some room to work with, and Embiid takes up a quarter of that court every time. Much room, man.
I think it's a good matchup. I think it will cause problems, and Darvin Ham would have to figure something out.
I don't think
the only other piece in it is
you that, get to the third player.
Doc Rivers will have to figure something out, and then we might have an issue.
I'm just saying, you get to the third player, there is nothing that the Sixers would be able to do. Like, they don't have a bench at all. So you got to cancel that out. And then what? What? PJ Tucker literally doesn't score points. He does not score points. Maxey, what is he going to get you, 12 points? Okay. Then who? It's like they don't have enough. And they don't guard good enough either.
Hold on.
They don't guard good enough.
Hey, man, Philadelphia, you gotta make a call, D. Philadelphia, y'all holding back Maxey, man. Y'all ain't letting that man play.
It's not y'all. I'm not a 76ers fan.
Oh, that's right. He the Clippers, right?
No.
Tobias Harris.
How serious, B?
No.
Time I ever met a Clippers.
They're not holding Maxey back.
They are holding
Doc
back.
Rivers is holding Maxey back.
They're not holding him back.
Hard, man.
Doc Rivers.
You got a dominant man in the paint that wants the ball, that needs the ball on anywhere from the block in the paint all the way to the top of the key.
Or the 3-point line. There is a lot of floor.
You got an MVP on your court, man.
But here's the real problem with Maxey. Maxey doesn't handle the ball well enough to come off and run the pick and roll. If he handled the ball better and could actually dribble with his left hand, then he'd be able to use the pick and roll more than what he's capable of using. But he can't do that yet.
John, what up, buddy? Oh. Sound like a little chipmunk. Try to jump out and jump back in. Your audio's a little funny. All right.
How long you jump out and jump back a little bit?
Huh?
I'm gonna jump out and jump back in a couple minutes.
All right.
That's the problem that I see with Maxey. Maxey just can't run the pick and roll like that. He's not a good enough ball handler yet. So when he becomes a better ball handler, then he can do that and do more things. And every now and then he'll go off because he's super athletic, but he's not that guy as of yet. But he's still young. So I think he was young. I know he was one and done. He was young coming in the league.
Y'all be hating on the young fellas, man. I don't think he left all the way. There we go.
Yeah, Philly's all right. I don't know. I'm a little partial because I think Doc Rivers just. Uh-oh. Hold on. There. I turn my light off. My overhead. So we'll see. We'll see about good old.
I can't believe he jumped on here.
Oh man, I'm telling you, I'm serious. Anybody from here on out, I don't want to hear New York, everything. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. I literally don't want to hear it.
JP, what up?
What's up, fellas? Can you hear me now?
There we go.
Cam.
All right. Awesome.
Cam,
Awesome.
what's going on, my man?
Going good, man. So watch some good basketball today. It's a good day.
It was, wasn't it?
I think it was solid, man. I'm a little disappointed in the 76ers because I thought they let that one get away.
Me too.
I thought as they shouldn't be favored in this game, and they really shouldn't be, they should at least be more competitive than what they were. I'll put it that way. And I thought that they at times had a chance to kind of slip away, and they looked sloppy. They didn't look like they were as well. It looked like definitely you could see Boston was better coached than the 76ers. And that's just my opinion.
That's the right opinion.
It didn't seem like you know how kind of the thing they I remember Teddy Atlas said this about Floyd Mayweather, how when he goes into a fight, there's no one more prepared than Floyd, than anybody. But they didn't look like they were prepared to play a basketball game. They looked like they were great athletes playing a basketball game, but they didn't look like they were prepared to go to battle like they were. And Boston just looked like they were just playing like Boston does. They played solid defense. Both teams shot about the same. That if you look at the stats, like the stats on the game, they look exactly the same. But if you watch the game, the determination, their ability to on just not just like diving for loose balls or anything like that. It looked like at times like 76ers weren't interested in winning. I don't know. That just seems like to me.
Well, I think you're right. And it was almost like the 76ers weren't prepared for Boston to hit them back. It's like they should have, when they got the lead. First of all, the 76ers got the lead. I know they talked about it on TV, and they were 100% right. They should have been up 18 at the half. Instead, they were up 9. And I'm like, how? What's going on here? What are you doing? And then when Boston came and punched them back, it was like they had no idea what to do and how to get back. Like they didn't think that they were ever going to make any shots. And when Boston started making some shots, lo and behold, the 76ers couldn't handle it.
I looked at this. I was looking at this stat. Boston was 17 of 44 on three-pointers. You think but that's actually the same percentage that the 76ers shot, 13 for 34. Right. I mean, that's still it's the difference between them is 38.6 and 38.2. But you look at it, Boston had more turnovers. Everything was favored towards really towards Philly winning this, and they just kind of, I don't know if it was like they don't. It almost like, in my opinion, they need a sixth man that can come in and change the pace for them. They need can't just be Harden and Embiid. It's got to be somebody else, man. Like no one else.
No, go ahead. I'm sorry.
There's just no one else that can take control of a game for 5-6 minute spurts. They don't have another guy that can do that.
No. First of all, they played 8. Their bench got 11 points. You're not winning many NBA playoff games like that, Agreed. And it's because Boston turned the ball over so many times on where you were able to win. And the game went into overtime, and they had to win it on a guy shooting a three-pointer a tenth of a second late. That's how you were able to win. I mean, that is not sustainable. And James Harden had to go off for 42 points. That's not sustainable.
Which won't happen again.
Yeah, that's not sustainable.
He won't do. James Harden, in my opinion, is one of those guys that at times he looks like, if you watch James Harden in stretches, you think he's the best basketball player ever. Seriously. On offense. You think like, wow, this guy offensively, I've never seen anything like him. But then at other times you're like, the very next night, you're like, who is this guy? Like, who's that? That's James Harden. Like, no. I came to see that guy that I just saw, last week he just dropped 62. And it's like, yeah, but it's not this. I don't know what it is. Like,
hell, John, that happened in this game.
I
thought in this game he was like that.
And it's like,
what's going on?
But it's frustrating to me as a basketball fan because, like, in my opinion, I always want to put James Harden. If you look at his numbers, he should be in that conversation for top 5 shooting guard ever. Like, he really should be. But he just isn't. Like, no one, if you ever do a top 5 shooting guard list, Iverson and Wade are always ahead of him. Like, they're always going to be there. And no one puts him there because he's just so bland. Like, he turns into this vanilla player on stretches where he just, like I said, he doesn't seem interested. Like to me, it seemed like the 76ers had a plan to win the game. And when it started working, they're like, okay, it's working. And they just relaxed. They never just saw the plan through. And they were actually beating Boston to a point that was like they were beating them on the ball, beating them on offense, taking care of the ball taking care of the ball in every possession, getting the ball. They were stealing the ball from Boston, taking care of everything. And then just I don't know. It just didn't. It looks sloppy to me.
The thing that hurts Harden is this. Those guys that you mentioned, Dwayne Wade, Allen Iverson, even though Iverson doesn't have a title, they have playoff success where what they did, it didn't matter what anybody else did to them. What they were bringing you offensively, you couldn't stop it. Harden is not that way. In the playoffs, it's just like somebody commented, playoff Harden. Exactly right. Because what he brings you, once it gets to the playoffs, people are able to stop that. They're able to combat what he's doing because the game is played differently. And he's not able to sustain. He's not as good a shooter as Steph Curry. So just standing out and shooting threes. When you drive the ball to the basket, they ain't giving you every call, man, in the playoffs. They're not doing that. And so what he brings to the table hasn't been able to sustain and say, you know what, get on my back. I'm going to take us to the finals.
I think you just hit the nail on the head, and you saw it kind of happen with the U.S. national team when they went to the Olympics. Dame Lillard even said it. He's like, the calls we got in the NBA when we went to international ball, we weren't getting those same calls.
No.
And you kind of see certain players do that. Devin Booker has this problem too. So does Luka Doncic. They're used to playing OKC in the third week of January, and every time they make a little sound, the ref blows the whistle, and the ref didn't even see what happened. He's like, I heard him make a noise. There's definitely a foul, and then you go to the line. But when they actually get in the playoffs, no one cares about you making a noise. They look like, oh, you didn't make the shot. You didn't make the shot. Get the rebound. Like, keep going. And he sometimes, it seems like it's like when he gets success, he's kind of shocked at his own success when he does that. Like, he accomplished his goal, and he's like, all right, yeah, I did it. It's like, hey, man, there's still a whole nother quarter to play. Absolutely. And it's like he's satisfied. He's satisfied with the effort he gave in the third quarter so much that he's admiring it almost. That's just I'm not James Harden. I don't know, but that's what it looks like as a fan to me. Like, right. All right, man. Like, and I used to be a huge Harden fan in Houston. I just thought, man, this guy's the second coming. Like, he was going to be. He looked like it's at times like this man was one of the greatest NBA players ever, and at other times you'd see him in the playoffs and like, hey, what happened to 62, man? Like, what happened to dropping to 50? What happened? And he just doesn't do it. And today, I mean, he did go off. Let's give him his credit. He legitimately did go off.
Sure.
But it shouldn't require him to do that. And it should have been more it's like I've never seen a more meaningless 42 points. Does that make any sense? Like
yeah, I get what you're saying. Part of it's Doc Rivers, though. Part of it is Doc Rivers not being able to get anybody else to do anything. Other than Embiid, you not being able to create enough offense for your team or have enough on your bench to be able to get some of that. But I see what you're saying about James Harden, and you're right. You're right. It was 42, and again, they needed every single point.
They really needed 48 out of him, but let's be honest. But the fact is, in the playoffs, if you're dependent on a player to drop that many points, something is either wrong with your offense or that player must be the best player ever. And I don't know how you can't go into a series, and even if you think past this series and go into a series that you're going to go play, LA or Phoenix or the Warriors, anyone like that, you're not going to play. You're not going to beat them playing like that.
No,
at all.
Not going to happen. I mean, and I don't think they're winning this series. Number one,
I don't either.
I think
I have Boston
win the next 2 games. That's right. I do too. And let's just Boston played bad today. They played bad and still had a chance to win the game. I mean, it's just,
and as you said, 1/10 of a second difference.
1/10 of a second, and they do win the game. And that's how bad it is for the 76ers. The same thing I said about the Knicks. The Knicks got 3 guys that can really do anything. And if one of them just plays average, they can't win. Much less if all 3 of them do.
I'll say this: I'll give the Knicks a little bit of credit, and they play a little bit better defense as a team.
Yes, they do.
And that's a little bit of a game changer. Boston seemed to have no heart today. I mean, I'm not Boston. I'm sorry. The 76ers seemed to have no heart today. And
not to fight back, no.
And it was like they were watching themselves get punched in the face and enjoying it. And they were kind of like, at one point I was like, are we just going to watch Jason Tatum now? Or are we just going to watch Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum show? Because that's what we were doing.
And the thing about Tatum is that Tatum played horrible in the first half. And then the second half, it was like a layup line.
That's what I mean. It was like, is anyone gonna? Because you know me, I'm an old school basketball fan. I'm waiting for someone just like, can someone just get a tech? Like, people knock Draymond for that all the time, but if that dude's going to the paint and he doesn't have any fear, give him a little fear.
Give him a little fear.
Give him a little. But like, at one point, it was the Jaylen Brown and Tatum layup line. Like, it was just one move, cut, bye, and and it was like, all right, this is like, I thought they were going to lose, and I just really sat there going, okay, it's over. This game is about to end right now. But
yeah. Well, let's move to this is a series we haven't talked about yet. Phoenix and Denver. I think that Denver is better. I don't think the way that Phoenix is playing is sustainable at all. And I guess we did talk about it a little bit. Phoenix, their offense does look better without Chris Paul there. My God, it looks so much better without him being on the court. It's incredible.
I've been called a Chris Paul hater, and I'll leave it at that.
It's night and day difference how good their offense looks right now when he is not on the court. But having said that, with them, they have a worse bitch than the 76ers. They can't win playing. I mean, unless Durant and if you think about it, Durant really hadn't had that go crazy game. You know, he scored 37, but you know,
he won't get it against the Nuggets. He won't get it against the Nuggets. And that's what I'm thinking.
He's not going to get it. And I'm like, what are we doing? If they have to score 90 points for them to win, that you can't win like that, man. You're not going to beat Denver.
I also have a problem. I also have a problem with, and I'm sure the commission can attest to this. When you go to Colorado, man, and on those road games, it's different with that altitude. That's why I said he's not. So your conditioning matters when you're taking that many shots. So his ability to just go off against Denver will be difficult. It just will be. Him going from the low desert, high mountains, you're gonna get a difference there. So his ability to recover after those games is going to be a little bit different. I don't think he's going to be able to go off. So Devin Booker might have to do it one game, then he might have to do it because you're going to use up a lot doing that. But again, I don't think, in my opinion, the reason why teams like LA and the Warriors are so good, they can go 3 deep into their bench and have guys that are capable of starting on almost any team.
100%.
And you look at these two teams, and really, I mean, both teams, both the Nuggets and the Suns, you see the same problem. They're top heavy, and then after that, it gets real soft on that bench. And it's just like, and I think Jokic is quietly doing the exact same thing I was talking about Harden. You watch him do these amazing things in the regular season, and then the playoffs just kind of levels out. He's not a bad player. He's not having a horrible game. He's just not doing anything you expect to be extraordinary from a guy who's won back-to-back MVPs. If I said that about any other player, if I said, hey, back-to-back MVP, Michael Jordan or anyone, you would say, okay, he's going to go off. He's not going to go off. His go off is a solid 12 rebounds and 28 points. And that's his, and it's 28 points split up over 47 minutes at best. And that's generally what he's going to get. And I'm not knocking him, but it's just that series is the least interesting to me of all the series right now going on.
Well, he got the advantage in that series for sure.
Yeah.
Because Ayton has completely given up. He just literally isn't playing. He has completely quit on.
I loved Ayton when he came out. I thought Ayton was going to be like as I said, my old school NBA. I thought he was the return of the big bodied center going into the paint, and it's just. But it's he doesn't even run the court, and I mean, there are times when he has a clear shot that if he runs the length of the court from when, and I don't mean beating one in a foot race. I mean he's the only guy over 7 foot near the free throw line. Keep going to the basket, and they'll get it to you, and he just kind of like looks and wait like he needs someone from the opposing team with him to attempt to make a basket. And either he doesn't believe his teammates are going to get him the ball, or he doesn't try, and they know he's not going to be there. I don't know which one it is.
Here's the thing about him, and it's just what you said. In this series alone, he should be able to get 6 to 8 points every single game just because he's going to beat Joker down the floor.
Right.
He should be able to do that, and he doesn't do it. He should also he can be an enforcer, like you said. He's not that. But the thing about him,
David Robinson did a lot of that.
Yeah, David Robinson did a ton of that. Thank you.
David Robinson made a career out of that.
Just running the court. That is the lost art in basketball. I have pointed it out on several different social media outlets. It's like, look, all you have to do is run the court. First of all, they teach you that from middle school on. If you're a 4-man, your job is to run from end to end. You will get the ball. All you have to do is catch it and lay it in.
The reason they call them the reason you're a center, what you're supposed to do is create the lanes from everyone else, because you're supposed to draw attention when you do that. And when you do that, it opens the lane where you can distribute the ball. You get a lot more open in there. But it's almost as if Ayton's a product of his own. I don't know that. I don't know if it's
basketball, bro.
Right. And it's also a problem like I think Chris Paul stagnates part of that offense. And I think he's very impressed with his veteran level of what he does. And it's a little antiquated when he goes in. And just my opinion, I think he slows down their game. Just like when he was in Houston, I thought he kind of slowed them down too. So says me. I think he's a decent defender. I think he gets a lot of assists, but I think he slows down the game. Just me. This is my opinion. And I think that if you put Ayton with a better point guard that passed a little bit more, I think he might be a little bit better, but I don't know. I'm not with this guy every day in the gym or something to see what he looks like, but he has no confidence, man.
Yeah. First of all, Ayton knows that his head coach can't stand him. And I don't think he can stand his head coach. You can see it. They don't like each other. They don't get along. And I mean, he took him out the other day, but it was Ayton's fault. I'm like, man, you're not giving us what we need. And the backup was playing better. It's like, I got to go with him. He's playing harder. He's doing what we need. And the thing that drives me insane about Ayton, you can give Ayton the ball and he can score. He's not one of your typical stiffs that, he can't do anything but screen and rebound. If he posts up, first of all, he can make a 17-foot jump shot, but you can throw it to him and he can actually score. And I'm like, come on, man.
But he's only getting 6 looks a game.
You're right. He does.
This is my annoyance of the big men of the NBA right now. While we still say right now it's not a big man league, it's a small guy league. Look at the top 5 in MVP voting every year. I mean, it's Jokic, Embiid, and Ayton could be against any of those guys, and he's been to the finals and played against Giannis. I mean, he can play against these guys. The frustrating portion to me is that they don't feature him in their offense. They don't use him like he's a weapon. They use him like he's a utility. And because of that, you see a part of the problem. That's just me. So says me.
Yeah, it's crazy. It is crazy. What up, man?
How you doing, sir?
Just chilling. I don't know what part of the show y'all on yet, so I'm just jumping on.
We still talking about DeAndre Ayton and the Phoenix Sun and Denver right now.
The guy that's 7 foot by accident.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
That's
there
how
you
he
go.
plays, man. That's frustrating, bro. Like the other day, I seen him get a wide open, like he should have dunked it and he missed it. And then I seen Jokic run down and dunk the ball, like in the next sequence. And I'm like, bro, are you serious?
We were literally just talking about this. He doesn't. I don't know if he lacks the confidence, if it's a coaching thing, if he doesn't think his coach doesn't want him to do it, or it's a team. I don't know what it is, but he used to do it. Like when he was young, he had all the promised signs of it, and then he just stopped for some reason.
Sometimes you just need a change of scenery, man. That's sometimes just boil down to that. Like it's just time to move on, pack up, and go somewhere else around a different set of coaches, different set of people in a new city, and just wash all that shit behind you and just go from there.
Yep. And I think that's what he needs.
I hope so. I really do, because I actually like him as a player.
And like I said, him and Monty Williams do not get along. I'm surprised that they even matched his contract this year. I was just like, why would you even do it?
I thought they were going to trade him.
Well, but remember, once they signed, they couldn't trade him until January. And then even then, I was like, oh, okay, well, they're going to trade him in January for sure. They're going to get rid of him. And they didn't. I'm like, why? What is the point?
I think they're going to get rid of him this offseason.
I do too. Well, there ain't no way they're going to keep him. There ain't no way. There's no reason.
I'm shocked he wasn't in that trade package to get KD. Really, I really am. I really thought they were going to send him to New Jersey as well. But
if you're New Jersey, though,
Brooklyn,
I'm 100%. I'm 100% sure that they tried and
Brooklyn said
no.
Exactly. I was just gonna say, if you're Brooklyn, do you want Bridges or do you want Ayton?
Bridges. That's just like with Kyle Lowry in the Kawhi trade.
Yes.
The Raptors wanted to get rid of Kyle Lowry, and
that's right.
They said no.
They said no. You got to take. We want DeRozan.
I mean, the thing is, though, like I said, I don't think Ayton's a bad player. I don't think Ayton's a guy that has an issue with his talent level. The issue seems to be like it's a mental thing. It really is. And I don't know. It's like sometimes it's like if it's a confidence because they don't give him enough looks, that when he gets a look, he seems like he's like confused what to do with the ball. And I actually feel bad for him because like he looks like he's afraid to dunk or something, like he's gonna get in trouble. And I don't know.
But I think that's because the lights get too bright for him. It's the same thing that happened in the finals a couple years ago. It's like every time you got like, I don't know what I want to do with it. So
that's exactly right.
If he would have gave at least 50%, of what he's capable of giving instead of like the little 20% that he gave, they would have won. They would have beat Milwaukee.
If he gave Kevin Looney effort, Ayton would be a top 5 center in the league. I mean, he really would. Looney is to me is like I watch him every night, and it's like he's not the most talented guy. He's not the most skilled. He just goes out there and works and dog fights for every rebound and goes out and that's his ball. You just have it right now, and that's how he views it. And he goes out there and he gets it. And Ayton sometimes he's like watching. I'm like, hey, you're gonna get in front of Jokic? All right, Jokic is gonna score. Okay. We're just going to go up court. One play, and I really need to get this clip. Ayton started heading up court when Jokic got the ball. Like, he thought it was stolen or something, and Jokic just laid it in. I was like, are we not? Okay. We're not even going to cover our man anymore. That's what I said. I don't know what's up with the man. I really hope that series, I want it to be better than it is, but it's just not.
It's a hard watch for me.
It is.
It's a hard watch. And I watch, I try to watch as much basketball as I can, but I'm just not interested in watching it.
Well, the problem is that it's isolation ball to its fullest from Phoenix. That's all that they do is isolation ball. They don't run pick and roll. They're not running off screens. It's just, okay, get the ball to Booker, get the ball to KD, and let them go one-on-one and see if they can score. And if they're not going to score 85 or 90 points, they can't beat Denver. Right. They just can't beat them. They're literally not going to beat them. They have no bench. They get nothing from their center, just like we've been talking about. And y'all are 100% correct. It is a hard watch because Denver is playing the right way. Now, Michael Porter Jr. has got to do a little bit more. That's a different conversation. But at the bottom line is, he's
like the money right now.
He is, isn't he? He is. He's just like I got paid.
I wasn't never a fan. I was never a fan of the signing in the first place.
I wasn't either. I don't know how good he is. But you know what? But if he's playing, he's playing. It is what it is. But it's just a hard way to watch basketball because I'm just not into all the isolation ball. And if the shots aren't falling, Phoenix can't win. They literally can't win.
Well, the other thing is that's why the Golden State Warriors are a special treat for the NBA. But they are not an example for you to build a team. What I mean by that is you live by the 3, you die by the 3. Exactly. And sometimes you can just be streaky and you'll be really good for a few weeks, and then afterwards you're not. When you watch the Suns, I get that same kind of sense. Like sometimes they go on these streets, it's like, man, nobody in the league can beat them. And then the next couple nights, it's like, okay, they missed 4 or 5 shots in a row. There's no real rebounding going on. All right, now this is really bad basketball I'm watching. Now this is a bad shooting drill going on. And it's kind of frustrating because to me, the Nuggets are a really vanilla team. Like they're not really interesting to watch, but they normally kind of match whoever they're playing. They kind of morph into something different. Like every now and then Jamal Murray will go off or Jokic will start, just kind of like run this little thing in the paint, but no one's doing any of that. Like you said, it's all isolation. So it's kind of like one of those games where you walk around and do things in the house while you watch it, like, okay, all right, anybody missed a shot? All right, there you go.
Yeah.
It's not, but like when I'm watching LA and the Warriors, I'm sitting down glued to the screen because you don't know what you're gonna miss. With the Phoenix series, it's kind of like, all right, what did I miss? It's like only one thing happened in this span. That's it, and that's what you're gonna see.
Yeah, because the Lakers and the Warriors, they're going up and down. That's the tempo. Like you won't see that out of the Nuggets unless they're playing one of those teams.
Right.
Like you morph into who they're playing. They can play the tempo game with you, but they can also slow it down and play. Oh, let me
that
get
half court
block. And they can play the old school 2000s way. Or they can play today's way. So it just depends on who they're playing. Really, like you said.
Yeah, absolutely. It's crazy, but we'll
I can't hear you.
Hey, B, we lost you.
He's on mute.
Yeah,
it looks like his mic is muted.
We lost you, B. Oh. Yeah, I can't watch that Denver game. I don't think I've watched one entire game of Denver's all year.
See, when I say that, people act like I'm just being like, oh, you just want to watch LeBron. Nah, it's like when I watch him, it's just like it's just it's some vanilla basketball. It's just like really
entertainment at the end of the day. It's entertainment.
And I credit like when I do the little bit that I have watched them. I mean, Mike Malone has them well coached and stuff like that, but it's just boring. Just boring. And I said I used to work for the Nuggets, so
right. So, Will, what do you think about that? The Knicks Miami series. You think it's over for the Knicks? They got a shot.
Yes,
they don't have enough.
It's over.
I think it's the most, in my opinion, I think it's the most interesting series right now going on, other than the Warriors. Like Miami, New York is in my opinion, the second best series in the playoffs. Just my opinion. From talent wise of what you're going to watch, I don't know what's going to happen in any game. Like I said, we were watching today. When I was watching the 76ers. I was like, okay, you could have turned that game off and came back and been like, they won. Yeah, of course they won. They won by 20 points. No, they didn't. That series, every time you turn it on, you don't know who's going to win.
Right.
You really don't. So, I mean,
what in the Knicks series?
Knicks series, yeah.
Oh no, the Knicks don't have a chance.
Also, whoever said Jimmy is the number one, you gotta stop that. You gotta stop that. I don't know how many times this man got to keep showing you and showing you and showing you that he's the number one. Just give him a decent number two, and he gonna show you what he can do.
Who, Brunson?
I think Butler. He's saying Butler.
Oh, Jimmy Butler? Oh, I think Jimmy Butler's the number one. I don't know why people keep saying that. I know he does things differently in the postseason than in the regular season, but a lot of guys do that. But I think Jimmy Butler's the number one. Now, do they have enough on their team with him being your number one to go win a title? No, I don't think so. But that doesn't mean that he isn't a number one. That just means that they just don't have enough guys around him to score. Now, if Tyler Hero's there,
in Minnesota,
maybe he was the number one.
He's been number one for a long time.
Now, this is a question. When we say number one, are we saying number one scoring option, or are we talking about a guy you build your franchise around?
I can build my franchise around.
Yeah, he could be both.
I don't know. That's what I'm saying. I think when people are saying he's not number one, they're saying you don't build your franchise around a Jimmy Butler.
Well, I think they would be wrong because Minnesota and 76ers, when he left, they got worse.
Agreed. That is true. I always thought, and I still keep on looking for the day. I thought Miami was going to trade for Bradley Beal and put Bradley Beal with Jimmy Butler. I thought that was going to happen. It never happened, but I've always been waiting for that deal. They said they were in talks to do it, never did it. But he's
Bradley Beal. I think he got no trade. He didn't want to go.
Okay, see that. There you go. But my point is, I've always said Jimmy Butler's one of those dudes that he plays both ways on offense and defense. So I'm a big fan of that always. But I don't think at times he shows up in the playoffs, but at times during the season he just for stretches just kind of disappears. He's not the guy. Bam Adebayo's there, but he's not always an offensive option. And they were acting like Tyler Hero was the second coming of Jason Williams or something a few years ago, but since the bubble, Tyler Hero's disappeared. I don't know. That team to me is different now.
And Hero played good this year. He played fine this year. I mean, in the playoffs, he just broke his hand.
Oh no, I'm not saying. I was saying about building the franchise around Jimmy Butler. Like what's around him.
I think you can do that.
I think they thought they had some pieces. Cause I think Duncan Robinson was supposed to be a key contributor. Yep. I haven't heard nothing from him.
He can't shoot like he used to be able to. He could never guard anybody, but now he lost his stroke, so he's not any good. And you owe him like $90 million.
If you're Kyrie and you don't want to ever deal with the vaccine ban or anything, why not head down to Miami? I'm just saying, why not head down and go play with Jimmy Buff?
Because Jimmy Butler gonna punch him in his face if he
100%. He might 100%. He knows that when he acts wrong, Jimmy Butler ain't putting up with none of that. You're sitting out because you want to. You're sitting out because it's somebody's birthday. Jimmy Butler ain't trying to hear none of that.
Personal reasons.
I'm going on a personal leave for 2 weeks. He ain't trying to hear none of that.
UD and Jimmy gonna be fighting to see who get to him first.
Absolutely.
That's exactly.
And Pat Riley, quiet as a kept, ain't gonna put up with none of that either.
Yeah, exactly. No, I don't know. I think
that too.
I'm looking at the future. I don't think Miami has enough to win a title though. But
no, I don't.
I don't think they have enough. I don't think they have enough firepower to really go out and battle with any of these teams. That's why I've said right now it's between the Lakers and Warriors right now, in my opinion, for the favorite for the title. That's just my opinion. After that, it's Boston, and after that, that's it. I don't really.
What? I know Denver is boring, but why do people look over Denver like that?
I can't look over Denver.
Not this year.
They can
win. They can win it this year.
I heard you say that.
Yeah, they can win it this year.
Yeah,
Denver's not built like that. In my opinion, when I watch them in the playoffs, they don't play basketball like a playoff team. Kind of what we were saying before, how they adjust to whatever. They don't know how to set the pace and go out and just kill someone. They walk out and they kind of adjust to whatever the game mode is. And sometimes in the playoffs, if you get a guy who's injured, Steph Curry has a bad hand, Luka's sick, whoever, you got to go out and jump on that game and push the pace and set your agenda. And they kind of sit back and let it get dictated to them. And that's why I don't know. I don't think they're ready, in my opinion. I could be wrong. I could sound like a big dummy by July, but that's my opinion.
Well, I mean, just think about the playoffs this year, though. They took out Minnesota. And now, granted, Minnesota wasn't great, but they took out what Minnesota was trying to do and whipped them. And it took 90 points for KD and Booker for them to even win a game. So they're doing okay. I mean,
I agree, but I think it's kind of like, you remember last year when Dallas played. Dallas was in the playoffs, and the Mavericks. Everybody would say, "Oh, the Mavericks barely beat Utah." Utah, same situation. Utah missed a shot at the end of the game. Dallas advances. Then they go on and they beat Phoenix, and then they go to play the Warriors. That team got a lucky run. You know what I mean? You play a couple soft teams that weren't.
Yeah,
really
but that was different though. They weren't near as talented as Denver.
But I'm saying the Suns aren't a real developed team. They got thrown together. That's a.
But if you win by 1 or a million, it's still a W.
I'm not taking away the win. I'm taking away the ability of you saying they're a championship ready team. I'm saying I don't see them being tested yet. I haven't seen them go out and play.
But that's not their fault.
Agreed, it's not, but I'm saying I can't give them my vote until they beat someone that I think is like if you go out.
You can't do that though, man, because if whoever there's on their schedule to play, if they beat them and they win a title, you can't say, "Oh well, they didn't play anybody, but they won a title." If that's not their fault.
If they win the title, I'm wrong either way. But I don't think they're going to win a title.
When it gets down to the nitty gritty, Game 6, Game 7, the other team has seen every set that you run.
Correct.
Who can get you a bucket?
And Joker can do that.
I know if the Suns gets down to it, Denver seen all they plays. Look, I'm gonna throw the ball to KD.
Right.
KD gonna get me a bucket. Who over there can get me a bucket when it comes down to the nitty gritty?
Joker can do that because Ayton ain't gonna stop him.
That's true, but
the Joker can get you a bucket, or Joker can get somebody else a bucket.
What I'm not saying against the Suns. I mean in general.
That's what I'm talking about.
Right.
I'm talking about every team.
Jamal Murray.
Guy too, but
he just been hurt, man. I get it. I'm the same way. Jamal Murray's been hurt the last couple years, but he's back. And before he got hurt, he was that guy that was giving you that bucket.
True.
Right.
But everything you're saying though is exactly what I'm saying. It's like, but he might be this guy, Porter. I think they overplayed played Porter Jr. in my opinion. I think he's a good player. That contract he has is still insane to me.
But every team's got a guy that they overpaid. Boston is Marcus Smart.
Agreed.
But
I could have.
The 76ers, PJ Tucker,
Tobias Harris.
Tobias Harris. Gee,
they got a couple guys over there.
Man,
everybody got to see somebody that they're overpaying.
Ski mask and an agent in the room, gun under the table. They signed that contract, but no, it's not. It's just when I look at that team, what you're saying is Jokic can make that shot. Well, everybody knows they're going to Jokic. So who's the other guy that can step up? Okay, maybe Murray. After that list gets real small.
Where's the list for every team? How many guys does every team have?
Well,
they don't have 4 or 5 guys.
Well, remember what I was saying. If I was saying who could make a 3 late in the game for the Boston, Al Horford, Smart, Jaylen Brown, Tatum. If I was going on the Warriors, could of course we know Steph can do it. Can anybody else? Can Jordan Poole make one?
If you characterize it or shut it down to just a 3, that's different than just
I'm saying a clutch shot. I'm saying a clutch shot. Who can hit one?
But I'm talking about, all right, 1-on-1, I'm going to give it to you on the perimeter. You need to get this bucket for me. Just like how the Clippers, let's go back to the Warriors and the Clippers.
Right.
Where about Patrick Beverly shut this man down. All right, throw the ball to KD. Man, go get us a bucket. That's what we need.
I don't think the Warriors have that guy.
I think it's Steph, but that's always been my knock on Steph last year.
Kurt, he's going to run a play.
I think he can do it.
They're going to run a play. You can't he's not going to ISO somebody for the game-winning shot. They're going to run a side out of bounds.
If anybody was going to ISO, it would be Clay. Clay might be able to do that.
Clay can't create his own shot. He's not doing that.
Absolutely not.
No, that's what I'm saying. That's the only guy who I would think could just do that. Like
they don't have an ISO guy.
They don't have an ISO guy.
And if they do have an ISO guy, they haven't shown him.
Or the ISO is coming off a pick and roll.
True.
And going downhill.
What I'm thinking, what I'm describing is if you go, of course, everybody's gonna look for Steph. Steph's gonna get the ball, get locked down. He's gonna look for Clay. Right. Clay's gonna make a shot. That's it.
And though, when they see that you ran this same play 12 to 15 times,
you ain't gonna be able to run it. That's right.
You wouldn't be able to run it because they're gonna know he's coming off the pick. So, all right, let me get you the ball. You need to get us a bucket. You got to create.
And NBA coaches know that too. They're like, look, everything that we got, they know. So I'm gonna give you the basketball. Go get us a basket. See, Denver got a guy because you can clear out a side and you can give the ball to Joker for him to do that.
You can give the ball to Murray.
You can give the ball to Murray for him to do that. Those guys can do it. Now, have they done it at the big stage? No, because they haven't had the opportunity. But they can do those things.
LA has 4 guys that can do it, in my opinion.
Opportunity, not they fumbled it.
Right. LA has 4 guys that can do that, and that's why I think they're a problem. Of course, they have LeBron. Of course, you've seen Reeves hit it during this regular season. I don't know if he'll do it during the playoffs. And Russell's just playing like a fool right now. I don't know what's going on with that.
I love Snitch Russell. Russell's doing his thing.
I'm a long time. When the Lakers got rid of him the first time, I was still sad about it. But now I'm real sad that we missed him for all those years. But
me too.
But then I mean, if Anthony Davis doesn't catch the flu or fall down or break his hip, or he can do it. He can one-on-one get you a bucket. That's a tough team to play, and that's what I mean. But looking out there aren't many teams that have multiple guys that can do it. They really don't.
No.
Right.
Speaking of AD, did y'all think he was hurt last night? That's the one time, other than a twisted ankle, I thought he was going to be really hurt last night. When he fell on Draymond's knee like that, that's the time where I said, okay, I give it to him. You really hurt.
He just be having some bad.
So I'll be honest with
you.
I was watching the UFC on one TV and had it over here. I looked over and I saw him. Man.
Yeah, when he fell and Draymond brought his knee up and he didn't break his fall. He broke his fall on his knee. I thought, okay, did he have cracked ribs? I'm like, or something. I was like, my goodness.
They call him Mr. Glass, man. That's what he just.
Oh, he just gotta. I get it, but everybody talks about how big guys, they're big and their knees and their feet can't hold up. Well, if you look back in the 70s and 80s and 90s, guys were just as big, playing just as many minutes. Do y'all remember guys getting hurt like that?
Well,
I don't remember that at all.
The only guys who used to do that were like guys like Bill Walton, who like the careers did.
But that was a fluke at the time.
Right,
yeah,
right.
That was flukish.
But also, I'd say guys trained different back then.
Yeah,
like they trained and prepared different back then. We had this talk on the show about this shoe technology. The amount of shoe technology that guys have, dudes were running around dunking in Converse and ankle low Chuck Taylors, man. And guys are tearing their ankles up now, and I don't understand it. Like with compression sleeves and sports medicine and ice and cryo chambers and everything else you guys are getting injured for reasons like I just don't understand it. I really don't. And with the amount of money he's paid, he should be able to take care of his body better, in my opinion.
Well, I mean, I get that, if you have a bad body, you just got a bad body. That it is what it is. I'm just saying the amount of guys.
But they got a lot of miles on it before they even get to the league.
That's right. Yao Ming, you're right.
Kids are doing so much more.
It just couldn't do it.
Tracy McGrady.
I'm sure Grant Hill had the best of doctors in the world. It just couldn't do it.
So, the crazy thing is about Grant Hill, if Grant Hill just had his injuries a few seasons later, like about 4 or 5 years later than he did, he would be fine. Kobe Bryant had the same injury that Grant Hill did at one point, and so did Klay Thompson.
The same thing with Allen Houston.
Right.
Allen Houston hurt his knee, and that was before they did the whatever they call where they generate the new cartilage in your knee. Yeah, the stem cell. To
Germany?
Yeah, that was before he did that, and Allen Houston couldn't play no more.
We think about that, like when the Dallas Cowboys drafted Jalen Smith, they had to regenerate the nerve in his knee. Dr. Cooper, Frisco, Texas.
It was gone.
Best in the world at it, and he did his surgery and said, "Yep, he's fine." Now he played football. 20 years ago, he'd be done. Would never play another down again.
He might not even be able to walk right.
Not even 20 years ago, maybe.
Yeah.
When Kobe messed his Achilles up, 2013?
Yeah.
Right then, like you could see how technology, medicine has, progressed, because guys coming back much quicker from the Achilles now than they did.
That's one thing I think we have to also take into account when you realize, like, in the old school football, basketball, and all sports in general, sports medicine has made sports far more enjoyable than we ever could imagine. I mean, the guys that would remember Kareem broke his foot in the finals and he left metatarsal bone in the finals in the 80s. And that's why Magic game 5. And that's why Magic ended up going off against the 76ers. Mm-hmm. But today, I mean, you have guys playing with that injury, the same injury, because the shoes are different.
Right.
It's crazy to think how sports would have been different. How long could Wilt Chamberlain have played if he had modern sports medicine? Who knows? Mm-hmm. How long could if these guys, the world that we watch every day, and we watch these guys, and really you have to realize these dudes are freaks of nature. You have to realize the physical toll you take on your body, and professional athletes taking their body is not normal for a human being to take. So when we get unnormal humans taking unnormal punishment, they get better medical care. We now see them now like, wow, how can this guy play this long? How long could Barry Sanders have played if he had a cryo chamber? I mean, I would love to see that. We'll never know.
Yeah,
but guys
are playing to their 40s now. Like,
right. It's just interesting to see.
Look at Tom Brady. Look at LeBron. He's eventually gonna be 40 playing in this game because he take care of his body. He has the modern medicine to allow him to get to 40.
Hey, Michael Jordan played at 40 with a cigar and a beer in each hand. That's so. I'll leave that alone. I'm joking.
Yeah, he did.
He was. That man can smoke some cigars.
But he also took 5 years off in between that.
True, he did.
But see, with that, I gotta dispute that. You keep saying he take 5 years. I'm not gonna count the baseball because baseball is rigorous on your body.
Baseball is rigorous, but baseball is not the same as basketball.
It's not the same.
Basketball.
It's not the same.
Okay, I'll put it this way though.
What level of baseball is rigorous on your body?
Minor league, because they're playing every other day.
But you don't play every day in baseball. You don't. You play. So like, even if
in the outfield for 2.5 hours.
Or here's the thing: if he struck out 3 times when he came up to bat, that means he didn't get on base, he didn't run, he didn't do any of that stuff. Not one time did he do any of that. He went right back to the dugout.
Smoke cigars and drink beer, like I said.
In the dugout, chilling. He's not running. He's not on the hardwood for 48 minutes. Running up and down, jumping, taking elbows to the face.
It's not trying to defend Jordan, but you still got to do BP every day. You swinging, you twerking your body. You got to feel. You got.
I'm not saying it's not athletic but what I'm saying, it's not even in the same stratosphere as being as stressful as basketball.
Right. I'm not doing that. I'm not.
Well, if you remember, Jordan's trainer said he had to retrain his body
to play basketball,
right?
Because the muscles that he made in baseball are not the same.
They're not necessary.
They don't go together.
The hard part is also you have to realize, like, we always work back to this Jordan mythos and LeBron thing. We always go back to this. But I always tell people, if you realize Jordan in 900 games did more than anybody ever done in basketball. If you look at this first 900 games, it's incredible. It really is. But I'm not gonna go into the whole part of him leaving for baseball and stuff. But the man did dominate basketball in his 900 games the way no one ever has. I mean, ever. Maybe we never will again. That from the points scored to everything else. And he has a problem with his shoes. The Jordan 1 is not a good basketball shoe. I mean, it's a horrible. Every time he played in that shoe, he broke his foot. Legitimately, when he did
good.
I'm sorry.
None of them is good.
Every last one. Played the Jordans.
I got the Jordan 4s on now.
People don't play in Jordans, man.
I agree,
man.
Oh, I agree. And I'm saying
I've heard that from everybody. Says the same thing. They are horrible basketball.
I've never played ball in Jordans either. But what I'm saying is, I know the Jordan 1. Every time he wore that, he broke a bone in his foot. Yeah. Like legitimately, Jordan said when he wore the Jordan 1, he broke his foot the first time in '85. Then he said when he wore him again in '95, he said he took his shoe off and his shoe was bloody, and they had to go and numb his bone down his foot after the game. So how do you that's the shoe he was playing in?
John, let me ask you this: you say first 900 games, like
yes, sir.
Okay, so first 900 games that Michael Jordan played.
Go ahead.
Now, what are we counting?
900 games would be 84. His 84 to 98.
Now what accomplishments? What statistic are we?
I mean, we're talking. He scored majority of his career points. Then defensive player of the year, 4 MVPs, 4 final MVPs, 4 scoring titles. I mean, most of his records he scored when he was with the Bulls. Not when he was with the Wizards. That was
you're saying from 84 to 93 or to 93.
84 to 98. All of it.
Well, he won more than 4 MVPs.
He only played. So remember this, Jordan only played, I think it's like 1,070 something games.
Right. But he won 5 MVPs in that time frame.
But I'm saying, he played the 2 final seasons, 82 games. That was after his 900 games, what I'm talking about. So if you took those 2 last seasons and just tossed them out.
He didn't play 82 games the first season. He got hurt with the
Wizards. Do you mean?
He got hurt.
Right. But I'm saying, that's why I said his first 900 games.
Okay.
So,
but why stop at 900?
That's what I'm saying. That's what I don't like. That's what I don't like when people do. Is
he played longer than that.
Period.
I'm giving
taking his peak and saying he played more than 900 games.
Hey, I ain't gonna lie.
He did and he didn't. If you really look at it, Jordan played what 14 seasons? 2 seasons he played
15.
Okay, well I'll knock 2 seasons off of this. This is why I'm not 2 seasons.
You can't
off.
do that either.
Because
he played.
He only played 17 games in one and 18 in another.
Okay, but he was out there.
But no, he broke his foot. He broke his foot in 85.
And he came back and they made the playoffs.
They made the playoffs without him. And that's what I said.
He scored the most points that he ever scored in the playoffs that season.
Agreed. And I'm saying, but that doesn't even go to his all-time scoring record. That has nothing to do with it. His playoff points have nothing to do with that.
But you can't knock off the number of games that
But I'm saying when you say a guy played a season, you say if a guy played a season and he played 18 games, that's not even a full season.
Okay.
You see my point? Is that
but
fair
he played. I mean, no, it's not fair.
I mean,
you can't knock a guy because he didn't get hurt versus a guy who did get hurt.
I mean, but then he came back and played 18 games in 94, 95. Same thing happened.
I don't think you could chop somebody's career down to 900 games to make an argument. It's just the same way you can't chop somebody's career down to the best 5 minutes they ever played.
Right. No, I'm not saying I'm saying if you compare it comparatively in the same portion of his career.
But you can't do that. The only way that you could do that if that's the only games that he ever played. If he didn't play more than 900, and I get what you're saying, but the same argument is Barry Sanders and Emmitt Smith. Barry Sanders only played 10 seasons. So then you can take the 10 best seasons that Emmitt Smith ever had, and Barry Sanders is still better than him. You can't do that with other people because all you could say is, well, they only played 900. Well, if they played more, you can't knock it down that way.
If you take Jordan's worst seasons when he was old and put him up against anyone's 11 seasons that he played when he's healthy, put him up against anyone, he destroys them. Anyone.
So why chop it down to 900? If that's your
because that's the actual number of games he played. Like that's what he played. When you really look at it, like I said, if you chop out the 82 and the 18, he played about 900 games.
But why are you chopping though? That's my question.
Because I'm leaving out his old to make an argument. Because his old man years were pretty average when he came back. He probably should never come back.
Well, that's on him.
That's his fault.
LeBron is having old man games right now and dominating.
I'm not gonna lie.
He's not really dominating. I wouldn't say that. He's playing
averaged 25 points a game 20 years in. That's
again, and he's also third in scoring on his team.
And that's why people
who was third in scoring,
chopping years off, chopping games off.
LeBron was not third in scoring on the Lakers.
No, I said he's also in games. He's been third in scoring on his team.
Games, but he was not. I mean,
tell me.
You're saying Jordan was the leading scorer every game
in the playoffs?
Come on, bro.
In the playoffs?
Well, he didn't even make the playoffs at 38.
Well, that's what I'm saying because he left. He came back. Jordan left and came back. LeBron's been here the entire time, and credit to LeBron's longevity. But you're doing the exact same thing we're talking about with Barry Sanders and Emmitt Smith.
No, I'm not.
No. Here's what I'm saying.
Longevity is a part of it.
No, I'm not.
Then I'm saying if you're saying longevity, then you got to say.
I didn't say longevity. I didn't say that at all. What I said is you can't make the same argument here and cut people's careers off. The only time you can do that if you're comparing to somebody that only played a certain number of games. Barry Sanders only played 10 years.
Right.
So if you want to compare LeBron and Michael Jordan, if they only played the same number of years, can you do that when you're talking about the number of games played? But if you can do that. But Barry Sanders only got to 10. And his 10 are better than the best of Emmitt Smith. So if you want to cherry pick number of years for each of them for that,
I don't got to cherry pick numbers. My eyes show.
I agree.
Barry Sanders was better than Emmitt Smith. I don't need to look at the numbers.
I don't either. No. Yeah, I'm with you, Will. I don't either.
Sanders is better than Emmitt Smith.
I'm not
either.
I'm not debating that. I'm not debating that. That's we agree on that part. What I'm saying is Jordan's career, when you look at when he was playing in the league, just solid out. No one's come close to that stretch. No one. Even LeBron's stretch was not close to that. Kobe's stretch, not close to it. Even go look at Bill Russell when he was winning his titles. Wasn't close to the Jordans. Not just the titles, his actual stats. No one was close to that. That's an insane run for what he did. Number of MVPs he had, finals
just
MVP.
Give him his whole career.
Go ahead and do it. That's what I said. And all I'm taking away. And the only two things I said 4 seasons.
But don't do that. But don't do that. Give him the whole thing.
And I'm not even giving him his point. He won't have the same point record when he does this.
But give him the points.
Okay.
Give him all of it.
That's what and all I'm saying.
Bo Jackson not in the Hall of Fame.
There's a reason for that.
Bo Jackson shouldn't be in the Hall of Fame.
Well, he isn't.
Well, if you chop it down short enough,
Bo Jackson was the best running back while he was playing.
And he never got 1,000 yards rushing.
But that doesn't mean anything. When Bo Jackson played those 8 games a season, he was playing. He was far and away better than everybody that was playing.
100%.
That's what my eyes tell me.
Thank you.
100%.
And it wasn't even up for debate.
But he can't. But he's not. But he's never going to. But you don't. But like you said.
But you don't chop it down.
That's why you gonna start taking an axe to
in baseball term. In baseball
doing that everywhere, and it stopped making sense.
Well, no. In baseball, people do this in sports all the time. In baseball, people talk about the Sandy Koufax. But Sandy Koufax had the greatest 4-year stretch in the 1960s ever.
But nobody tells you that Sandy Koufax is the best ever either.
They call him he had the greatest stretch.
Nobody says that Sandy Koufax is the best pitcher ever. They don't even say he's the best lefty.
Okay, but I'm giving you this. What I'm saying is Jordan, in my opinion, is the best NBA player ever. And we've had this conversation. I told you I think Kareem is the best NBA player. I mean, our best basketball player. And Jordan's the best NBA player. That's how I think it goes. It stacks up overall. But if you're saying that Jordan's career and you just diced up just that stretch with the Bulls, that there was no one that ever came close to that. No one has ever come close to anyone.
But that's fine if he would have stopped playing.
I still think if you add the Wizards years, like I don't discredit the Wizards years because at the end of the day, what he did with the Wizards, he would be a max player today with the numbers that he put up with the Wizards.
100% without even debate.
And I would never discredit the Wizard years. He didn't get him to the playoffs, but that man playing 38 coming off of 3 years of not playing, man.
They didn't have a playoff roster.
They didn't have a playoff. They had a young team that was really inexperienced, and that was hard grinding. But he still played it. He still.
But at the end of the day, before he got hurt, he had him in playoff contention. Before he got hurt, so
now, he shot bad. For that. His percentage went way down, so he shot bad. But guys today shoot bad.
His knees were gone though. That's at that point. I mean, once your knees are gone, you can't shoot. His jump shot's done.
I just don't think I agree with D. Howard. I don't think you can cut somebody's career to a certain number and then just say, okay, they're the best. Just give him his whole career, and that just adds to it. There's no need.
I was cutting off at his 900 game point. The reason why I didn't just come up with the arbitrary number, I was coming up when he left the Bulls. That's what I said. In '98, when he stopped playing, if he stopped right there,
but he didn't.
No, he didn't. That's it.
Yeah,
and that changed everything.
I don't know that it changed everything.
You still have an argument. Like you don't even have to take the axe to the 900. Like,
no.
I'm not
going to argue against you. I mean,
I still think Jordan had the best career ever of anyone I've ever seen. Like he just really did. And I said the reason why I said the Kareem comment. Kareem lost 3 games in high school, won 3 national titles in basketball, 3 Naismith Player of the Years in college. So his college career was better than Jordan's. And his NBA career, he still won 6 titles, all-time leading scorer. So that's why I said overall, all basketball, he had it. But I think Jordan had the best NBA career.
Mike, he was 6'0", but he took his lumps.
See, the 6'0" thing is also like people say, was Jordan's career only 6 years? No, it wasn't. That's he didn't win a title every year, and no one will win a title every year. If he did, basketball would be damn boring. I mean, that's the facts. I mean, even Wilt Chamberlain beat Bill Russell a couple times to win a title. It's not going to make it. Doesn't mean you have to win the title every year. Jordan's domination, in my opinion, was not just about titles. It was the way he literally set the tone for the entire league. That's my point.
My thing with that too, I always said this: once Jordan figured out how to win, you didn't take it away from him. I saw that the year he lost to the Magic. He ain't really lose again once he got to the finals. Once he figured out how to win, it was over.
They also had the best team.
He also had the best team.
Let's not discount that. He had the best team.
Even in 93 when he first started, when he first started his run, he didn't have the best team.
Well, the first run started in 91, and yeah, they had the best team. They 91 and 92 and 93, they had the best team.
That was built though. That was built over time.
Regardless of how it was built, I mean, whether it was built or not doesn't mean you don't have the best team.
Well, no, what I'm saying is, if you take Jordan off that team is not the best team. That team isn't
But nobody. Okay.
No.
If you take the best player off of any team, are they as
good?
No,
but here's what I'm saying.
He's going to be on another team, and that team is going to be the best team.
Here's my point. When we talk about him having the best team, it's not like Jordan went out and joined the Spurs or something like that. He didn't join the best team.
That doesn't matter.
No, I'm saying it does matter because
no, it doesn't.
If you're a leader and you make your team the best team, then your team is the best team. Without Jordan,
John, you talk the most about like sports science and the advancement of technology and the evolution of everything. The game has changed also, and how teams are manufactured has changed also. They couldn't do that back then. They didn't have that option. It wasn't available.
And as soon as they tried to do it, they literally broke
whatever
up
they could have done,
team.
they did.
Well, the Rockets did it, and they had no problem doing it.
How did the Rockets do it?
Charles Barkley was where did Charles Barkley come from?
Charles Barkley was traded to Houston.
Agreed, and I'm
Upon
saying
his request.
Yeah,
and I'm saying they did the exact same thing because they wanted to win. That's why they did that. Charles Barkley even said it. He said in 1993, I was depressed because I played against a guy who couldn't beat, who was Jordan. He said,
"What's the difference between that and Rodman coming to the Bulls?"
Because Rodman got traded to the Bulls and no one wanted him.
That's a fact. Nobody wanted
him. Did his ability go away?
But yes, at that point,
he wasn't good. His ability somehow disappeared.
Listen what I'm saying. He wasn't the same player in San Antonio because he literally said he didn't get along with David Robinson.
That's not what I said. I said, did his ability go away?
His numbers were total.
That's still not what I said. We can tap dance.
It's a lot of other reasons why people didn't like him.
Did his ability go away? And the answer to that is no.
Well, I'm saying, if anyone else wanted to trade for him, they could have.
Okay, but he had other reasons. A lot
more to Dennis Rodman than just playing basketball.
Thank you. There were way other reasons that nobody wanted.
And so what I'm saying, and what you're saying, what Darren's saying is exactly what I'm saying. You have to give credit to a factor of leadership. That it's not just simply someone just X's and O's and putting the team together. You can't just grab 5 guys off the street and say, hey, these guys are the best players, make them into a team. There's a leadership factor and a respect factor that happened there. Without Jordan being there, that team was not the same. They were not the best team in the league without Jordan there.
On that.
If you take any best player off of or any leader off of any team, they are not going to be as good.
I'm saying, do you think B.J. Armstrong, Horace Grant, and Scottie Pippen are going to win a title, or even I don't even know if they're a playoff team without him?
Well, they were.
They were. Right.
I mean, so I don't know what you're talking about because they were, and they were basically not call 90, from going back to the finals.
I'm saying not in 91.
Not back to the finals to the East.
Regardless, that tells you that was a well put together team with a good coach.
Agreed. And I'm giving.
For that time, triangle was a great system because it's 120 ways you can score out of it.
Absolutely.
They ran it in 94. This is what I teach my boys when I was teaching triangle offense. I put on the 94 Bulls. I didn't put on the 96. I put on the 94 Bulls because everybody was getting a chance to score out of it. They ran that offense to perfection.
Because then when Jordan was gone, they would also, this is what I'm saying. When Jordan was gone, they went and got Kukoc, they got Harper. Those guys weren't on that 93 team. So that 93 team would not have won without Jordan. Because I'm saying you're talking about they had Horace Grant, B.J. Armstrong, they got Harper, then they got Dennis Rodman after Jordan came back. Rodman was not on that team before Jordan showed up there.
They wouldn't have won without Mike, but they wouldn't have won without Phil either.
And they wouldn't agree.
Not only did Phil bring that offense, he he got Mike to adjust his game.
Well, they were the one without Tex.
They went right because Tex is the one who told him to switch the offense. But that's again why coaching plays a big deal. People don't realize, and I've said this about LeBron. I think he would be a better player had he also because Michael Jordan got to get instructed by Dean Smith as well, which made him a different player as well. Right. The coaching aspect of the incredible thing about LeBron is he came out of high school and came into the league. While you have a comparison, if you say Kobe and Mike, they did get coached up by a really good coach named Phil Jackson. Mm-hmm. LeBron James never had that, and it would be curious to see what he would have with that. But we'll let that go. That's another conversation.
Yeah, it's definitely a conversation.
It's definitely a conversation. For
coaching does matter. Ask Tom Brady.
Coaching matters. Team matters. Like
I
don't know. I don't know another player that's going to be able to take those calves, the calves that LeBron took to those playoffs in his first years as a rookie coming in and dragging that team to the playoffs. I don't know anybody else is going to do that.
I mean,
at 18, 19 years old.
I'll give you this, and this is
out of high school.
He didn't do well. He did when he did that when he was 22, technically, because when he was 18, he didn't do it in 04.
He was year 4.
There was a guy named Dwayne Wade who took his team in year 3 and won a title as well.
With Shaq,
correct, and with Pat Riley as his head coach.
Right.
But with Pat Riley run the organization. But I'm saying that in that time, the East was pretty soft, and there were only 2 really good teams in the East. It was a lot easier to win there, and you can go look at their record versus the West and see what I'm saying. But winning in the West, if LeBron had to go out and play the Spurs, the Mavericks, Lakers, and the Suns, LeBron's
not his fault.
No, I'm telling you what I'm saying is when you're talking about him taking them to the finals, he went to the finals at a time when he had the easiest road to the finals. When the finals got a lot tougher to get there, when Boston stacked up, he wasn't going to do that anymore.
As bad
but he did.
As bad as the East was, if you take LeBron James off that Cleveland Cavaliers team, is that team the worst team in the league?
100%.
Literally.
100%.
Okay. So even if the East is bad, LeBron to the worst roster in the league, and he takes that team to the playoffs.
To the finals.
No matter how bad the East is.
I'm saying we give him we actually did this one time in a chat. I said go take the 06 Lakers and 06 Cavs. Look at their roster. They're not that much difference. There really isn't. LeBron took his team to the finals because he was in the East. In the West, he gets knocked out in the first round. There are no 10. If he plays in the West, there are no 10 finals appearances because there's no way he's playing San Antonio. How do I know? Because San Antonio swept him. San Antonio destroyed him. And that team went 7 games with Kobe Bryant. So what I'm saying is if you're saying he was that better in the East when he comes over here, he's such a good player that he can go to the West, do the same thing. I don't buy that. I just don't. He was good, and you can look at his record versus the West that season. He wasn't that good against the West. I mean, what was he playing? Was Orlando Magic good? Were the 76ers good?
Oh, so what happened when he came to the West?
What happened when he came to the West? When he didn't, he demanded a trade and trade away his team. He didn't even make the playoffs.
Chip.
No, he didn't. No, what did he do first? He didn't make the playoffs at all, and that was in his prime.
Well, he got hurt.
In his prime, he traded away somebody. In his prime, he traded away.
He got hurt
out of the 8 seed when he came.
And
back.
he had a team then that was young. He was not going to lead them to the promised land.
But he got hurt.
Hurt or not, he didn't do it.
Oh, okay. But you literally just cut off seasons of a guy because he got hurt, and now you won't do it in this case.
Because it wasn't a season-ending injury. It was 12 games.
It was not 12 games. The man destroyed his growing. Stop it.
No, LeBron missed 12. LeBron missed 12 games at the end of the season. He was there.
LeBron came back January 31st versus the Clippers. They won in overtime, 123 to 120. I don't even got to look at it because that's how much I argued that point. It literally had 29 games left. There was 2 games out of the 8 seed.
2 games out of the 8 seed, and you're saying that's the same as missing. That's the same as missing.
I didn't say missing, but you said you can't count somebody's season because they got
saying
hurt.
You can't count
and the guy got hurt.
Being hurt and injured are not the same thing. And
you're right. Missing games is being not the hurt. Same thing. So missing games isn't the same.
Missing games by choice is different than missing games because of injury.
Also, it was by choice.
This is my point because everybody like to talk about how weak the East was, which it was weak. But then he comes to the West and wins a chip. And the thing that you have to say is not the first year.
No, because he traded away his team to get that. He traded away his team.
But he's in the West. It shouldn't matter what he did.
He won a chip.
It shouldn't matter.
It does matter because he won a chip. He won it. You're leaving it. He didn't just win a chip.
Wasn't the West still tough?
Sure, but let's
okay then. So if the West was still tough and he won in it.
When did he win? Okay, so what road game did he win in the West when he played and won his chip?
That has nothing to do. Now we're breaking it down based on games.
No,
road games.
He won in the bubble. He didn't play. He won the only time he won a chip was in the bubble.
Yet they were the best team in the league.
So 2020,
the bubble started.
So 2020,
you remember that, right?
So 2020,
or are you going to say no? They were the best team in the league when the bubble started.
And we know it. And we know in the NBA that means nothing. I'm saying, what did he do? You take 4 months off, rest. Put me in a spot where I never have to play any road games, no crowd, and we're just.
But they were the best team in the league before that.
That's the only team that got those.
I'm saying that gave AD a chance to get healthy, which is what I'm saying.
Well, he wasn't hurt.
He doesn't. AD's always hurt,
but he wasn't hurt.
AD gets hurt,
but he wasn't hurt.
Exactly my point, and he gets 4 months off.
But you said to get healthy, but he wasn't hurt.
I'm saying you get an entire off season basically to rest.
Their
off season is
all right.
Will, when y'all run and y'all go do these AAU tournaments with your kids, do all the teams play in the same gym?
No.
And stay in the same area?
No.
Yeah.
We stay in the same. I don't know. We don't play in the same gyms though.
So when y'all go play tournament, that tournament is not in one gym.
No.
But it's only in about 3 or 4 gyms.
Where you're going to. Like if you go to Louisville, they have gyms.
A gym
they have
that all of them are in there.
You go to Atlanta, you're gonna be driving around Atlanta trying to find a high
right.
school.
But everybody's doing that.
Yeah.
Exactly. So it's the same for everybody.
Correct. I'm not knocking it.
And I'm only asking, and I asked a very simple question. What did he do the following year when he didn't have that?
He got hurt.
Again, so because he didn't get 4 months off.
So because he didn't get 4 months off, he got hurt.
The only time he won is when he got
in the finals for 10 straight years.
I never got 4 months off. Bro. That do play a big part. Getting time off plays.
If you get 4 months off in the middle of a season,
he's not the only one.
You act like they got 4 months off starting in November. It was the end of March.
No, this is what I'm saying.
Playoffs start in April.
In my opinion,
and you understand how big of a deal that is on your body to get 4 months. You get an entire offseason.
Nothing to do with what I am saying.
The Lakers was the best team.
Right. And the Lakers were the number 1 seed.
They were the best team, and they had a chance to get 4 months off.
TJ Warren in the bubble.
Nobody said it didn't help. But you're saying that's the only reason.
And I'm asking you the following season, what happened?
They got hurt.
In the following season,
but they didn't get hurt in March.
So what happened in 2022? Where was the team there? They didn't even make the playoffs.
They got hurt.
Again, you're proving my point. I'm
not. You're just not looking at it all the right way. They didn't get hurt in March. They weren't the number 1 team in the league, and then they got hurt in March. That's not what happened. Stop telling half truths.
John, you mute yourself.
We don't know what would have happened. That's
Thank you.
That's
you don't know.
We don't know.
But you can't just say they got hurt in March.
But you can't. But you're saying. But you're. And I'm saying. You're saying every season they get hurt. So they
in the season they didn't. They won it.
In the season they got 4 months off to rest.
They did again. They didn't get 4 months off starting in November or January
it doesn't,
or February.
Whenever they got 4 months off. If they got.
So it doesn't matter.
If they got 4 months off,
That's not what I asked. So it doesn't matter.
They got 4 months off in February.
It started in March.
John, I feel like you're already cooking the reason why if they fall short this year.
Exactly.
If they want to, I've said this before. If LeBron wins a title this year, he wins a title. Good job. Go for him.
Better win a title. I'm a Laker fan.
He needs to. Exactly. I'm saying.
2020. What's wrong with that?
I've even said the bubble title was BS. I really think it was. It was the bubble was nonsense. Tyler Hero looked like a god in the bubble. TJ Warren was awesome. in the bubble. He was great there. But we put him in the NBA night after night. He's not that good. Go play a road game and go deal with the hostile crowd in the playoffs. That's a different environment. You didn't have to deal with any of that. You got to sit.
They did it for 4 months.
Nobody did.
I understand nobody did. And that's why the teams were totally different. That's why the teams that were the successful teams in the bubble did not come out the next year and become successful.
So basically, the teams that were able to handle that situation the best won the championship or did well in
Agreed. I'll say that, but I'll agree with that.
How it works?
And that was the team that was the best throughout the regular season.
It wasn't irregular, but I'm saying when you said last time,
that number one team that had won that many games that had gone on the road.
I'm just pointing out. The question was initially. You said
able to handle that situation the best does not deserve a title.
Give him kudos for handling that well. But what you said was, what happened when he went to the West? You said he won a chip. No, he didn't make the playoffs the first year because he got injured. 1 year. When he gets 4 months off, he wins a title. Every other year, he's injured. Every other year.
But John, that's
I'm not making excuses. I'm saying
what I said. But that's what I said, though. I said when he went to the West, he won a chip.
He won a chip because he got 4 months off.
And that's the only reason that they won is because they got 4 months off.
100%.
The argument was that he was in the West, in the East for so long.
Yeah.
Now
he went over to the West. What happened?
Now
he went over to the West.
The only reason they won is because they got 4 months off.
Because he traded away Brandon Ingram, Kyle Kuzma, and all those other dudes. He traded away the entire squad.
Has nothing to do with it.
Oh, it's 100% why he did.
Basically, just saying you didn't want him to win, and he did
when he got to Miami.
So that's the reason.
He scored 8 points in the finals against the Mavericks. Remember that
to the team structure.
Okay, then he went and got Ray. Then he went and got Ray Allen and Mike Miller and won and played the next year.
He did the same thing everywhere he went. So why is it a problem when he go West and do it?
Because he did the same thing. He traded. That's what my point is. What we were talking about Jordan just before. What happened with Jordan? How many people did he trade away to go win a title?
He couldn't.
They didn't have that
luxury. He couldn't even keep his coach.
And I'm saying,
he didn't even keep his coach.
My point is what I'm saying is when teams want leadership matters. If you're saying I got a group of guys and he could take anybody to the finals, but then you're like, oh no, but he had to trade away all these guys everywhere he went. Well, those two things can't be true. He either can't win with those guys because he wouldn't have traded them away, or he can only win with certain guys, which he needs there. This is what you said earlier. You said he does this everywhere he goes. Okay, well, if he does it everywhere he goes, that's why he gets to the finals all the time. He trades away his team and gets a stacked squad
because he can. And
because he can attract, but that's the only reason.
In the era that you're in, you do what you can to win a championship.
So
if you don't, somebody else gonna do it.
So we understand.
And he didn't start it.
So when he doesn't do that, how many titles did he get?
When he doesn't do what?
When he doesn't trade away his team, how many times did he go to the playoffs?
He's gonna go this year.
How many trades did we make this year?
He's gonna do it this year.
How many? D'Angelo Russell, where did he come from?
He didn't do that.
Oh, I'm just asking. He didn't ask for anybody to be traded.
But your argument was that Michael Jordan didn't do it himself.
No. I said my argument was
that Michael Jordan and the Bulls made wasn't because of Michael Jordan. Michael didn't go ask for somebody.
I'm gonna clarify my argument. I said my argument was that team was built. It was built. They got the guys that were drafted that were there
built for him.
Awesome. It was built. Whatever he got, what he had there, he went and got it. Won with it. Won 3 straight titles with it. And I'm asking,
team that the Lakers have now, the roster was built.
No, they traded and got all those guys.
Isn't trading being built?
That's built.
Sure, I guess.
Okay,
yes, then. It's built.
So then, what are you talking about?
Ron did not go out and recruit somebody.
They got
he didn't go out and recruit. He didn't literally go out.
The GM actually did their job.
Literally, they don't call him the GM for nothing. Like he literally talks about people say, "Oh, LeBron, you do that." LeBron.
So now we're talking about semantics about
no. One guy is famous for trading his teammates, and the other guy isn't.
That's fine.
So when he trades,
but I'm talking about this year. We know who he is, and we know.
And I'm saying, look at his team. Russell Westbrook.
This year he has not.
And this year he hasn't traded Russell. He didn't want Russell Westbrook gone.
No, he didn't.
Okay, he didn't want Russell Westbrook gone. Russell Westbrook thinks a little different. He thinks he did.
Well, just because he thinks that
was only there because
that's the truth.
Because of LeBron.
So
LeBron wanted him.
So if LeBron wanted him and LeBron got him, but LeBron doesn't make any trades.
I didn't say LeBron didn't make any trades.
You just said
he said this year.
I said this year. So, the roster that they have right now, the way it's constructed,
he's only there because
was not built by LeBron.
So it's not. So that's what I'm saying. He didn't build the team. He didn't make any trades, but he does make trades in the past everywhere he goes.
I mean,
before the season.
So he does trade. So he does get his teammates
before
traded.
the season.
So this time he decided he just didn't want to do that.
You literally just didn't listen to what I said. I said before the season.
So he decided only before the season, nothing in season. He has no say in it. Nothing to do with it.
Well, you don't think Michael Jordan had no say in it? They didn't ask him?
You think Michael Jordan said, hey, let's go sign Tony Kukoc?
They didn't ask him any questions?
Kukoc
came to the Bulls. Kukoc came to the Bulls, and Michael Jordan wasn't there.
Yes, he was.
No, he wasn't. He got there in 94. Jordan wasn't playing.
So Jordan had no say in that.
He got there in 94, and Jordan wasn't playing.
Actually, they drafted him in 92.
But he didn't come to the Chicago
no.
until 94.
They drafted him in 92.
And he didn't come to the NBA until 94.
Fact right now. They drafted him in 92.
And he didn't come to the NBA until 94. You can keep saying it all you want.
Because he was in the Civil War. Because
he did not start in the NBA until 1994.
So what does that have to do with them? What does that have to do with them going to get a player? You said that Jordan didn't have.
Said it was
your statement was not when did he start playing.
You said it was built. You're the one who brought in Tony Kukoc.
I know you think you said that
you brought up Kukoc,
and I'm right about it. If you won't listen to it,
no, I don't have to listen to lies.
I know you don't have to.
Stop manufacturing stuff.
Look when he was drafted. He was drafted in 1992. Jordan said he had no say in it.
When he had no say in the NBA.
Awesome. That was his first game. When did they draft his rights to him?
Thank you. So what difference does it make if he ain't playing in the NBA?
You said Jordan didn't have a say in it, and I brought up Gordon.
That's not what I asked.
I'm answering your question.
No, you're not.
This is a response to
your
question.
Not.
You said Jordan didn't have a say in it?
What I said was, if he is not playing the NBA, what difference does it make?
No, and you said Jordan didn't have a say in his players, and I brought up Tony Kukoc.
What difference does it make?
Because he wasn't gone when that happened. They had already brought Kukoc in before he left. If he's
not playing in the NBA, I'll keep asking it and wait for you to answer. If he's not playing in the NBA, what difference does it make?
It doesn't make a difference.
Thank you. So that's the end of the story. Don't bring up
Kukoc
again.
No. Oh,
because it literally doesn't make any sense.
In 1990, what year was Tony Kukoc
If you got
drafted?
a guy that's not going to help you and it's not playing,
I'm just asking a simple question. What year was Tony Kukoc drafted?
92.
Okay, so when Michael Jordan playing or not playing when he was drafted?
He was playing.
Okay, so did he have a say in that or not?
No.
Okay, but Michael Jordan did the same thing. You just said Michael. Your exact example was Michael Jordan had to say on.
You think he only had to say on one player?
Who else did he have drafted?
That's not what I asked you. I said one player.
No, he didn't. There's a guy named Jerry Krause who did that, who bragged about it.
So again, Jordan, he had zero say. Zero. Is that what you're saying?
No. He had a say.
Then. Thank you.
But he didn't have people traded.
Okay.
They didn't call Michael. They didn't, like I said, we're going back in a circle. Back before you said LeBron does this everywhere he goes. Now you're saying Michael Jordan had a say. If Michael Jordan had a say, as Darren just said before, he couldn't even control who his head coach was.
At the end, he didn't have a choice.
Because of contract. Scottie Pippen set out because he wanted his contract done. If Michael Jordan
didn't have anything to do with Michael Jordan.
So Michael Jordan had nothing to do with Michael Jordan when he said he wanted them to sign.
That didn't have anything to do with Michael Jordan on whether Scottie Pippen had a contract.
So Michael Jordan had
Scottie Pippen signed a contract.
Just making sure
the ownership did not renegotiate.
I'm just understanding. Making sure Michael Jordan had no say in who they signed or re-signed.
That's not what I said.
Then who can't
twist the argument?
Then who
I said Scottie Pippen signed a contract,
but that's
the Bulls would not renegotiate.
And did Michael Jordan have a say in Scottie Pippen's contract?
No.
Okay, that's all I'm saying. That's all I asked.
That has zero to do with it.
You said it. You said LeBron does the same thing as Jordan. He's a GM, so I'm asking what he
Jordan,
does. So LeBron can get Russell Westbrook. So LeBron can get Russell Westbrook traded and signed.
Who can be renegotiated?
Jesus. So LeBron.
That's why you can't have these kind of arguments. Because
you just said earlier that LeBron. The reason why Russell Westbrook was a Laker was because LeBron had him signed. He signed and re-upped the deal and got a max contract.
Jesus.
Scottie
Pippen had a contract that the Bulls wouldn't renegotiate.
100%. And
you're saying that doesn't have anything to do with Westbrook's contract. Nothing.
So Westbrook got signed to a max contract.
He got in Washington.
Yes, and they re-signed him in
No,
LA.
they did not. No, they didn't. Stop it.
Same contract.
Under the same contract. See, you're just making stuff up to try to be right. It's ridiculous.
You just made up. You just
no,
made
I didn't. No, I didn't.
You just
made
no, I didn't.
Hold on, B. Hold on, B. So back to the original point was the argument was made that he got to 10 straight finals in part because he was getting rid of all his players. He was trading everybody. He was building rosters.
100%.
Okay. Now, this year, at this point, the roster that my original point was the roster that is constructed right now for the LA Lakers was not constructed by one LeBron James.
Sure. Let's say that.
Let's say that, or is that false?
Well, I mean, how did AD get there?
Well, AD came
How
in.
did he get there?
They came in together.
Okay, how did Dennis Schroeder get there?
He signed back after he left because he turned down $85 million. I
agree.
I didn't have anything to do with LeBron.
On Twitter asking for a job.
I'm not the
Tristan Thompson.
Here's the thing. I'm not knocking LeBron for what he does, but
on the TV circuit asking for a job.
I'm not knocking LeBron for what he does.
These are guys that we want to bring up.
Does LeBron do it or not? This
nobody want him in the NBA. Nobody want these guys in the NBA.
I'm just asking. I'm just asking a legit question.
You guys come on. I'm gonna get y'all a chip.
A legit question. Does LeBron choose his guys? And I respect him for doing it. He chooses his guys. He has a disciplined squad. Does anyone? Because when he's a leader and LeBron wins, it's because LeBron's the greatest player ever. When he doesn't have a team, it's because his team is too soft. It's never because, hey, he has a good, solid group of guys that can play. Because while LeBron was injured,
this is the problem. Why you can't have these.
This same team was winning just fine without LeBron.
This is why you can't have these discussions.
Go-to guy.
You can't have these kinds of discussions because you already have a baked-in hatred for LeBron. Why? Yeah, you do, because that's why you bring up.
How can you tell me what I hate? How can you tell me what I hate?
Winning,
it's like me saying you don't like ice cream. You can't tell me what I hate.
It's always the same thing. It's the same narrative.
Because you don't like what I'm saying doesn't mean that I hate him.
LeBron hate and Jordan Love sounds like really.
I really don't hate LeBron. If you listen to what I said I congratulate him. I thought he did a lot. Of things in his era, and the guys jumping around and bouncing on teams. Yeah, he's in his era.
Yet when he wins, it's all him being the greatest, and when he loses,
I'm talking about what the media does. What the media does.
Media has nothing to do with reality.
So you're saying it's all him when he wins? I'm wrong about that.
I didn't say that.
So then what did I say that was counter
just
to
because
reality?
The media makes it out to be that way doesn't mean that's the case.
What was counter to reality? You said I was counter to reality, not the media.
Because that's not the truth.
So it has nothing to do with this. He
doesn't win alone. Nobody wins alone.
Okay. So what did I say? I said when
you
the media
said that's what it is. Oh, when LeBron wins,
I said that the media says when he wins.
Well, who cares about the media? How about we deal with reality?
Well, this is media right now, brother. This is what it is.
Okay,
this is media.
But we deal with reality.
Okay, and I'm dealing with reality, and what I was saying was
that ain't the truth.
It is the truth.
He don't win alone.
It's a team.
And he don't lose alone.
It's a team sport, and the team sport is LeBron has a really good team when he wins. When he does not have a good team, he is not going to win. He is not going to take a bad team, which goes back again to my statement, which we started.
2018 Cleveland Cavaliers was a bad basketball team,
but that was on his doing though.
But they went to the finals. They went to the finals. They went to the finals.
This is my point. The point was the original statement. What you just said, you just admitted the exact point of what I'm saying. If he has a bad team, if he can take that team,
you said he doesn't win. He can't win.
He doesn't.
Well, he went to the finals. That's winning.
No,
just because you don't win the title doesn't mean that you're not winning. That's what we're talking about.
He went 7 games. He went 7 games with the Indiana Pacers with no All-Stars. I mean,
did they win?
Yeah, I mean that's what my point is. But he wins when he has a good team. When he doesn't have a good team,
that's not a good team. That wasn't a good team.
That's everybody.
That's
the Lakers didn't. Magic didn't win a title without a good team.
Darren, remember how this whole statement started. This is how it started. You said he could take a bad team and he could lead them like no one else could. And my point is, and this is my entire point, going back to this, is that he has to have a good team. He surrounds himself with his guys, and he provides leadership for the guys that fit in with his system. LeBron's not going to go grab a bunch of dudes off the street and just make them win a title. That's not what he's going to do. No, but this The statement was he could take a really bad team.
Okay.
Take that team, and he's going to take them to the finals every year. That's not what's going to happen because he couldn't win with Brandon Ingram. He couldn't win with Kyle Kuzma. He couldn't win with what's the kid's name? Point guard. Forgot his name. In Chicago. They traded him.
Lonzo Ball.
Ball. So Ball. He couldn't win with those guys. He said, "I don't want those guys. Get rid of them. I need this guy." And it's okay. And it's okay if he does that. What I'm saying is, it's not just LeBron winning with anyone. Remember, because I said the media says this. You're saying no, it's a team sport. But now, when I say
because the media says it, man, you got to get off
Darren,
you got to get off
he could win with any team. He could take anybody up there.
That's not what I said. I was sharing what he did do with that sorry Cleveland Cavaliers team.
That was a sorry
I never
team.
said that he could win a championship by himself. That he didn't need a team.
And he didn't because he didn't win a championship by himself because he wasn't going to do it. It's a team sport.
But
he's a great.
Nobody's making that argument though.
But look, I'm saying he's not going to take a team. The only reason he even went to the finals in that conversation when he went there.
If you remember what I said was, if you take LeBron off that Cleveland Cavaliers team, they are the worst team in the league.
I don't know. That's what I said.
With him, they're in the playoffs.
And I said if you said the exact same thing, I would give the same argument to Kobe in 06. You think Smush Parker and Chris Mim are going to lead a team to the playoffs in LA? I don't think so.
I mean, well, you're talking about two of the greatest basketball players to ever play. So that's, I mean, what do we?
Right, bro. But that's what I was saying is what I'm saying is in that era where he was playing it, their teams were pretty weak, like overall. That's why I said who was good, who was, or you had a young Dwight Howard in Orlando and a pretty bad team. You had a bad New Orleans team that wasn't that good.
So you're right.
Okay. And so what I'm saying in that era, yes, you can make it to the finals in the East.
Okay.
But you weren't going to go do that against Tim Duncan in the West, Kobe, the Suns, Dallas. You weren't going to go beat Yao Ming.
You had to win 50 games to even make the playoffs.
Yeah.
Right. But teams were making the East with a losing record. The teams in the East, like up to the fourth seed, were all like losing records or 5,500 teams.
These are all facts.
And that was my point. This is my entire point. Was that he made
nobody's argued what you just said? Nobody argued you.
And all I'm saying is that he made it during a weak era. I'm not.
How we got to this was I asked you what happened when he went to this strong West. That's all I
said. He traded his team away and he won.
The West not as strong no more.
The West isn't as strong anymore, but it was.
So from 1 year to the next. From 1 year to the next.
No, the West wasn't that strong. The best. I mean, you had Rudy Gobert and what's his name? And
when he went to the West was just as strong. It's not as strong now, but it wasn't. Then. Yes, it was.
It was. Who was good? How was it strong?
They're not good now. They're not as good now.
What
they were good.
I'm saying
Portland was a lot better. Not Utah wasn't any good. But Portland was a lot better.
Donovan Mitchell and Rudy Gobert were playing.
They weren't that good, which is why they broke them up. They were so good they broke them up.
That was one of your better teams at that time.
But Portland was better than they were.
And I'm saying that was one. And I'm saying Portland was a pretty soft team.
Okay.
I'm being honest. I'm just asking, like, if you could name the great players on there, McCollum, and then Dame.
It was the Warriors or nothing.
It was Warriors or nothing. And then you had
the Warriors that just head and shoulders better than everybody.
But then I'm saying, but look at Dallas. Dallas, but I'm saying Dallas
was handing out a lot of losses.
So Dallas wasn't there anymore. You had no San Antonio, no Houston. OKC was garbage. I can keep going down the list. You had the West was young. There was a lot of
OKC was garbage.
Yeah.
KD was with the Warriors then.
Yes.
In 2018. Yeah, he was, wasn't he? He had already left.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The West was weak. And remember,
Houston wasn't weak.
And we're talking about LeBron going there in 2019, 2020.
Houston wasn't weak.
What was
weak? They weren't a threat, but they weren't weak.
Houston was weak by 2020. Yeah, they were.
Well, 2020. You said the first year he went there.
No, and he said
that's what you said.
Right. No, but you said he won a chip. You said he won a chip. That's when we were talking about the year he won a chip. I'm talking about that team. When they were number one in the league, I'm saying that was a weak West. That's all I'm saying. And if you can list the teams and go look at those rosters and tell me I'm wrong. That was a weak West.
Okay. So every year he's won the title, they've been
the
weak.
League is weak.
The league is weak.
We're talking in the West. He only did it once. First of all, he only did it in the
bubble. He didn't play that long in the West.
Well, this is the whole crux of the conversation.
But he hasn't played that long in the West. And the year that he was healthy, they won. But you're saying the only reason they were healthy is because at the end of March, which the season didn't stop until March 17th, the only reason that they won is because they got 4 years off or 4 months off, even though they had been the best team the entire season.
How many times has Anthony Davis been injured?
But he wasn't hurt
yet.
So you're saying he was 100%. He was going to get hurt.
It's Anthony Davis.
That's not what I asked you.
Yes.
So he was 100% going to get hurt.
You told me, if you gave me the over under and to put money on if Anthony Davis was going, Anthony Davis could be going in for a layup, an open layup, slip, boom, out for the season, done, donezo.
But he hadn't done that up until that point
yet.
And if he was going to do that, I'm with you on that. Like AD is
injury.
What I'm saying is, all I'm saying is,
he could have done that game one in the bubble.
He could have, but I'm saying this: 4 months of rest. You getting their off season is 4 months. This is all I'm bringing up. My point is, their off season is 4 months. They get off in July, August, September, October. They're back in basketball. They had an entire off season to rest.
Sprained ankles don't really care about 4 months off.
I'm saying rest ain't got nothing to do with AD.
I'm saying that as a team, they got to rest. If you're an older player,
so did everybody else.
Agree, but I'm saying older players have a huge advantage of this. If you're an older player,
everybody got to rest. And just like Kawhi got to rest.
Look who was good in the bubble.
Injury-prone Kawhi, who gets hurt if he drops a pencil on his foot. His ACL is sprained.
Man, that dude is just unlucky.
Everybody got to rest.
And let's be honest, Kawhi. Let's not disrespect Kawhi. Kawhi is a monster, though. Like he's
of course incredible. He is, and he got the rest.
But he's in the same boat as AD.
And I still think again, the Lakers had a more veteran team, and you did that came into play. Their coaching came into play. I don't think the Clippers had half the coach that the Lakers had at that point. So the coaching staff,
coach.
Exactly. We're rolling back in the
don't do it, bro. We already got it. We know Doc Rivers.
No, but B, that's what I'm talking about. I'm saying just
the rest don't have nothing to do with who the coach is.
I'm not saying that. I'm saying that he was playing in a weak West. Okay. Steph's hurt. Clay's hurt. That Warriors team ain't there. That's LeBron. There's nothing to stop him.
Okay.
I mean, what is Dame going to stop him alone in Portland? No, he's not. I mean, who's left? Paul George and Kawhi with Doc Rivers. If you had a basketball game for your life and you said, "Hey, Doc Rivers is going to coach a team, and if he can't beat LeBron, you're going to lose." How soon would you commit suicide, and what weapon would you use? That's the only thing I can ask you. Your life is over.
Dame signed his death note when he signed.
Yeah, I mean his
career death note was signed on that day.
And let me be very clear: I don't hate LeBron. I think LeBron is one of the greatest athletes ever. Not just basketball players, and I mean athletes. Truly, he is. But what I'm saying, what annoys me, hold on, I'm gonna get some more light in here. What annoys me is the disrespect that comes up from the LeBron faithful towards previous generations of NBA players and current NBA players, where they're kind of like, oh, well, this guy would have never made it back there. They're plumbers. There were no athletic players in the 70s. That's what gets me annoyed with LeBron. Personally, I think LeBron is one of the greatest, like I said, athletes ever. I'm happy I got to watch him play. But when you're telling me that, like, oh, LeBron would have destroyed everyone in the 80s. What?
I don't think anybody said that here.
Yes, not on this.
Not on this part. I'm talking about in general with LeBron. And those statements do get said. That Jordan was soft when he played. He had all the rules favored to him. Okay. In the 90s.
Isaiah got something to say about that.
I'm sorry?
Isaiah got something to say about that.
Well, Isaiah is also very I'll give Isaiah Thomas. Isaiah Thomas always says that we beat him, and he's like, we beat him before he got good. Well, Isaiah Thomas entered the league in 83. He didn't win a title until Kareem left, and he got Dennis Rodman and Dennis Rodman and John Sally in 87.
You got
he
to
didn't
wait
win anything
turn.
until
And Jordan still.
He didn't win anything until Kareem left. So I'm just going to throw that one out there.
What'd you say, Will?
And Jordan still averaged 30 versus them.
Yeah, 35.
I don't know.
Versus the Jordan rules.
Right. And then you didn't make a rule that every time Larry Bird left the ground, you'd put him in.
When did he leave the ground?
But like, hey, there's a guy named Jokic. There's a guy named Jokic winning MVPs that doesn't leave the ground much either right now.
Exactly. That's my whole point. Bird didn't have to leave the ground.
And what I'm saying is that the disrespect to previous generations is rampant amongst the.
It is, but I think I always put it in context as people that either don't know basketball or weren't around to actually know who was playing.
I think that's where when you say I hate LeBron, I don't hate LeBron. I hate those fans. I really do. That's just.
Stupid. You can hate the fans, I guess, but if the fans are just talking about him. I go. They're not making excuses for him.
It's kind of like a bad.
People just make excuses for LeBron, and people get mad about that. The problem is he doesn't need any excuses. The guy is one of the greatest basketball players, if not the greatest basketball player that has ever walked the face of the earth. Has he won every single time that he's played? No. But the one thing that he has done is made basketball. It's different now than when Jordan played. Like, people get mad at LeBron because LeBron has empowered players to build their own team. There is literally nothing different from a GM building a team versus players building a team. Because I can guarantee people, they always say, hey, I didn't want to play against him. I wanted to beat him. Bullshit. If you Magic played with Kareem, you're telling me that Magic, no, you know what? I don't want to play with Kareem. I wanted to play against Kareem. No, he didn't. He absolutely did not.
And listen,
people that say that are full. When those guys say that, I always say they are full of shit because they didn't want to play against those guys. I will tell you this: they were fine playing with them.
I think there are guys that had a different competitive nature. Not all of them are, being honest, but some of them were 100% doing. Charles Barkley would have played with Jordan without a problem.
Of course he would.
He would have put without a problem. But Hakeem wouldn't. Hakeem wanted to beat him. I still think Hakeem wanted to beat him.
Now, first of all, if the Houston Rockets said, you know what, we have an opportunity to trade for Clyde Drexler or Michael Jordan, you're going to say, nope, trade for Clyde.
Stop it. No.
Stop it.
I'm not saying
no. Same thing with Michael Jordan.
Not Houston
Jordan, if the Bulls said, you know what, we got an opportunity to trade Scottie Pippen for Charles Barkley, you're telling me that Michael Jordan would have said, nope, I want Scottie. There ain't a chance in hell. He knew that Barkley was better, and he would have taken him.
But that's his best friend, too. That's not really fair.
But, I mean, best friend or not. Take the best friend part of it out. Just talk player for player.
Well, I agree with that. What I'm saying is some of these guys have Michael Jordan.
Yes, they were competitive. I get that.
But not just competitive. Michael Jordan is one of those guys, like, he likes beating individuals. He likes... He's a little nutty. No, seriously,
did he, or was he just better?
Well, he likes beating them too a lot. I mean, he really liked beating them. I mean,
when you're better than everybody, it is fun to beat everybody.
I mean, he's when
you're better than everybody, yeah, it's fun.
But show me the player that was better than him.
That's what I'm saying. When it's fun, when you're better than everybody, it's fun to beat everybody. But don't say that he wouldn't want to have a better team. I can assure you that if he could have done that, he would have.
Oh, I'm sure he would have. I don't doubt that, but I don't think he would. I don't think he ever needed to because he was that much better than everyone. Which is part of my argument of dominance of him. If he could have now, let's say this: if Jordan could have gotten one thing on his wish list, Jordan always wanted to play with a good young center. And I think if he could have played with somebody like Shaq or something late in his career, he probably never would have quit. I mean, Phil Jackson be damned or not.
But you could also say that he also played in a league where there were garbage two guards.
I wouldn't say garbage.
I mean, when the next best guy is Reggie Miller or Clyde Drexler. Clyde Drexler couldn't even dribble with his left hand. And I love Clyde, but let's just call this just be facts. He couldn't dribble with his left hand. Reggie Miller couldn't guard us in this chat room right now. He couldn't guard us. I love Reggie because Reggie was that dude.
We're also playing with this is again
different rules,
but basketball strategy. This has been a problem since early.
I'm just saying though, the two guards that Jordan had to play against, let's just be honest, weren't the best because there's a guy that gets left out that I think actually is better than Clyde. He's never going to get the recognition, but I think he's a better actual basketball player than Clyde Drexler is Mitch Richmond.
Yeah,
he is better than Clyde Drexler,
100%.
but he never gets talked about being as good as Clyde Drexler, and I think it's insane.
I mean, Glenn Rice was a pretty good player too. He had some other guys out there, but they weren't really. Jordan came out of an era where everybody liked the small forward and point guard were the focus of the offense after this and after other than the center, where you had guys like Dominique and Larry Bird. You had I'm sorry,
James Worthy.
Yeah. You had a lot of there's a lot of talent poured into that.
Dominique also another guy that's way underrated as a small forward.
Man, Dominique is, in my opinion, people argue top five small forward above Scottie Pippen. I don't care what anyone says.
Well, he couldn't guard anybody though.
But he could.
No.
In today's NBA, he'd be first team all defense.
Well, I mean, but back then they let you guard people, and he couldn't do that.
He just went that, and he was Dominique. He didn't do it. He don't do that. That's not his
Dominique. Because here's the thing: if you take away, there's first guy that led the league in scoring all those years. It was Jordan. The guy that was second was Dominique.
There's also another guy named Alex English, but which
absolutely.
English,
just because he wasn't athletic.
He was king of the mid-range, and his game is highly underrated.
What were you going to say, Will? I'm sorry.
South Carolina.
Yeah, buddy. Yeah, Alex English was good.
And all I'm saying is that in that era, the focus of where they put offense, your shooting guard was a position that was basically used as your best defender.
An athlete. That's right.
An athlete. It was like if the guy wasn't really a basketball player, you threw him out there. Part of the reason that Jordan came on when he did – and the I can be like Mike, what he inspired, everyone started doing things like him. He changed basketball.
Right.
The guy legitimately did. And now people are like, wait a second, this guy who's a really good athlete, maybe I can get one that shoots.
But you could also say that's the reason that he did dominate is because there weren't very many shooting guards that were any good.
Well, I would argue that they could have there were plenty of guys that covered him that weren't shooting guards that still struggled to stop him.
Like who?
What do you mean? They covered him?
Yeah, that was
Gary Payton.
Gary Payton was Gary Payton. I mean, okay, so you went to the top of the food chain when it comes to the guarding point guards. Who else?
I'm saying go. People who guarded him could not stop him, no matter who guarded him.
That's
Dennis
what
Johnson.
I'm saying.
I'm saying Dennis Johnson. Dennis Johnson was
Johnson was way past his prime at that time, bro.
No, in '86.
Yes, absolutely.
He wasn't that far past.
Yeah, didn't. And you just said about the best athletes on the court. At no time was Dennis Johnson one of the best athletes.
No, but and Michael Jordan was younger and faster than him, 100%.
That's what I'm saying. There wasn't that many guys that two guards, shooting guards, or small forwards, whoever.
Nobody that was better than. I mean,
well, there wasn't
athletic.
anybody. I'll be honest with you. There was no one at that time. He's right. There's no one at that time that was athletic as Jordan.
No, that's my whole point.
Anomaly.
That's my whole point. There wasn't that many shooting guards that were that good when he was playing. There wasn't.
I don't think they weren't that good. I think there weren't. The league was just designed different. But
you're literally saying that without just saying there just weren't guys that were that good. It doesn't matter the reason. They just weren't that good. You could say that, yeah, the league was designed differently, which I get. I agree with, by the way. But just because it's designed different doesn't mean that the guys were better.
I'll give an example of what I mean by this. I don't think, for example, today that there are probably 4 centers that could probably play in the NBA in the late 80s, early 90s today.
Okay.
I don't think they lack the physical ability to defend any of those guys.
I think they do lack it.
I think they could do it. Mentally, and the way they're trained, the way they're used today, we would never be able to know. Because no one had ever used a shooting guard like Michael Jordan. Everything since Elgin Baylor was in the league, have been from a small forward and center. Those were your two scorers. After that, there's your point guard. Those are the guys that scored almost all your points. That's how it worked. Jordan changed all that. So when he did that, it's going to take a few years for everybody to catch up to that.
I mean,
by the time he,
but you're given a reason versus it actually being the truth.
But Jerry West was a shooting guard, but he was also a point guard, shooting guard, and that's a
guy.
I'm gonna say this: MJ in the '80s was an anomaly, just like Wilt in his time was an anomaly, just like LeBron, is an anomaly. It just
the way it is,
and I don't take anything away from LeBron. LeBron is one of the most gifted athletes I've ever seen. I've never seen a guy be able to jump off of one leg from the free throw line and dunk and come down on a center. That's just that's like Dr. J. His savant way of reading the defense and passing, incredible. Dr. J, another small forward who doesn't get enough credit by modern standards of people, basketball fans. Another, like I said, the small forward position was your scorer. That was the guy that had all your Jordan changed that because Jordan really, if he played in the 70s, somebody probably would have made him a small forward. He would have been an undersized small forward. Is what he would have done. Would have played. He got moved to the shooting guard and didn't have to do a lot of things that defensively because he didn't really get pressed on the other side of the ball. So he would take the other guy and destroy him.
He was a shooting guard in college. That's why he was a shooting guard. He was a shooting guard at North
because there was a guy
Carolina.
named James Worthy on that team that was pretty good. But we'll leave that. We'll leave that for another tale. But no, I don't hate LeBron, and I'm annoyed by the. It's kind of like the way people don't like Dallas Cowboys. They like the Dallas Cowboys. It's not
Dallas Cowboys always lose though.
But no, they don't. They haven't always lost. It's their fans. It's their fans that people don't like.
No. People don't like the Cowboys.
And they don't like
maybe LeBron need to come GM for the Cowboys.
Yeah. They don't like the Cowboys. The Cowboys don't win. That's the thing. And the Cowboys fans act like they always win.
No,
when you say they don't always lose, bro.
My point is
26
LeBron
years
fans,
in a row. That's a bad analogy, though.
The way I'm saying is when LeBron doesn't always win. But what you do is people respond to LeBron winning or losing the same way they respond to the Cowboys. You know, people love watching the Cowboys lose because they hate their fans. The same thing with LeBron. It's not that they hate him personally. I think
people dislike the Cowboys.
It's when someone says, for example, Charles Barkley would never make it in today's league.
Somebody who doesn't know basketball.
Someone in our group has said that before.
Well, that would be somebody who doesn't know basketball.
And I understand. Charles Barkley is one of the best players I've ever seen.
You're going to get him out of there.
All right, there we go.
Yeah, that would just be somebody who don't know basketball at all.
But that's what I mean. It's the lack of knowledge of the game that gets translated into the day-to-day conversation. That's what gets frustrating about it. So it's not the athlete I have a problem with. I'm gonna go with the man in the arena statement. I'm not gonna go at him because he's playing the game. It's the fandom girlfriend in the stands kind of.
But at least when they're talking about LeBron has accomplishments to stand on. When people talk about the Cowboys, you know how many people weren't even alive the last time the Cowboys even went to a Super Bowl?
So you have to understand this, man. I grew up in a household.
I'm
a Cowboys.
See, there you go. Man wasn't even watching football.
I'm a Cowboys fan, born and raised Dallas, Texas, and I'm telling you this. My dad, when I was growing up, my dad said if you had there's only one team in this house. If you don't like it, you can pack your bags. And he said, I own those too, so just get out. My dad has been a Cowboys fan my entire life. Everyone in my family has. That's just how it is.
He sentenced you to life.
Oh yeah.
Yes,
I'm done.
What?
But hey, listen, what comes around goes around. But like I'm saying this, football's fun. It makes football fun. I mean, you got the Eagles. They went how many decades upon failure after failure.
The Eagles had bad management forever.
Okay, I mean, we can make excuses all day.
Well, they did.
But
like the Cowboys got bad management right now.
But I'm just saying, that, like when the Cowboys, and also you have to realize, like the Cowboys when they won those Super Bowls, I'd argue they played against the best defensive linemen ever in that stretch when they won those. But
who?
Reggie White, with the Eagles. This guy named Lawrence Taylor was playing with the New York Giants. I was in their division. Bruce Smith, he played in the Redskins. You remember that?
Did they beat the Eagles in the playoffs?
Yes.
When Reggie White was there?
Yes, 1992. He went to
And who was the quarterback for the Eagles at the time?
Randall Cunningham.
In 1992?
Yes.
Huh, okay. I'm going to the book because I don't think it was Randall. I don't believe it was Randall.
That was Randall.
Because either way,
that's a long 92 was a long time ago, though, man.
Thank you. I mean, again, Will wasn't even watching football in 1992.
But 92 was a long time ago. I was 5, 4.
There you go. 5 years old. The last time the Cowboys.
Listen, man, you have to understand this. You have to understand this. I live in a world where I've watched more game film of old basketball, football, and all this stuff than anybody. So this is yesterday. My dad doesn't even watch the Cowboys games. He has them all saved, all of them. All the Cowboys games.
Like,
I mean, what are those? I mean, it's not even on VHS tapes, are they?
Hey, he's got this digitally saved now, man. This is religion now. I mean, this is
yeah, of course. I get it. Yeah, that's the year that they won. 1992. Jerome Brown died in the offseason.
93, what happened?
Well, I don't know.
95.
I don't know.
Yeah,
Cowboys are really good. Now think about what you're saying. 1995.
Hey, listen, I made this. We had this conversation before. I've had this before. If you look at that, and we're going off on the sports rabbit hole here, but
yeah, no.
If you realize this, for some reason, the NFL has not deemed any of those offensive linemen for the Cowboys, other than one, Larry Allen, to be a Hall of Famer,
which is silly to me.
He's the only Hall of Famer on that team. Darren Woodson, not a Hall of Famer, all-time leading Cowboys.
But because here's the misconception with that, though. First of all, they think that if you're not a Hall of Famer, you're not any good. That's not true. Just because you're not in the Hall of Fame doesn't mean you're not good.
I would say this about the safeties. Like, you see how long it took Leroy Butler to get in?
Yeah.
It always had a thing for safeties.
But Leroy Butler, I'm saying this, and I give Leroy Butler a lot of credit. His stats and Darren Woodson's stats are just literally like they're right there by each other. But Woodson was on 3 Super Bowl teams.
Yeah, but I'm just saying,
saying
that he don't deserve it. But I'm just saying, for some reason, it seems like because Steve Atwater took a long time.
Let me get that star on there. We got. I got to represent a little bit. Hey man, it's okay. It's okay. It's hey LeBron. Also, there we go. That I can have against LeBron. LeBron abandoned the Cowboys, so we got a problem with that now. So he can't. We've actually been doing better.
Now LeBron's a flip flopper now. I mean, if he flip flops teams, you don't think he's gonna flip flop who he roots for?
Hey man, he flops. He flops when you run by him. So I mean,
that's a smart thing. No, let's get out of it.
I like his reason though for disclaiming the Cowboys. Now.
I'll leave that alone. He has his reasons. I respect his reasons. He has his reasons, but
yeah. I get it. Now, everybody can't be touched by God. So it's not your fault or anybody else's fault. I mean, when you're a Steeler fan and God puts the burden on you of being a Steelers fan, then you would understand. There's a different burden that comes with that you have to understand and you have to deal with. You guys don't have to deal with that kind of stuff. A guy like myself, I got to deal with that. It's tough.
Well, we can play the Browns twice a year. I mean, man.
Or the Redskins. You can play them.
I mean, they actually have a Super Bowl, more than one.
About as long ago as the Cowboys.
91.
Matter of fact, further than the Cowboys.
Further back, yes. And my point again, no one goes after Redskins fans. No one goes after the Detroit Lions. The Detroit Lions, the last time they won a playoff game was 1992.
Yeah.
No one is going to sit here and say, we hate Lions fans. You know why? Because they're not a problem. It's the same thing with LeBron. People hate LeBron because
I wouldn't say that the Cowboys are a problem. Who are they a problem for?
Other
than themselves.
NFC East.
Oh, shit.
There we
go. I'm going for it today.
We just gonna cap all day now. We
just hey man, 2021. Who swept the NFC East?
Oh
my God.
Oh, we're not going to talk about that one.
The NFC East. That's what we're going by. How did playoffs work out for you?
It didn't.
Okay. You know,
Didn't
who were the
work at all.
quarterbacks in the NFC East that year?
Jalen Hurts.
Okay.
Daniel
Wasn't good that
Jones,
year. Who? Daniel Jones. Okay. That should say enough.
and whoever the hell the
And
Redskins.
there you go. Whoever it was in Washington.
Whoever the Redskins found at the buffet line.
There you go. There you go.
That's
That's my only argument. I know we can talk about this another time. Is talking about Tom Brady. I get that Tom Brady is great. I'm not even saying he ain't the GOAT. But you talk about somebody who played against nobody for as far as the quarterback position in his division for 15 years. Who were the quarterbacks in the NFC East? Nobody.
Well, he had the second best quarterback in his division was his backup in Drew Bledsoe. But I don't think that was.
I mean, or Matt Castle again, a backup to him. I'm like, who were the quarterbacks?
Jimmy Garoppolo was his backup.
You know, they had like Chad Pennington at the Jet, and that's the thing. The
Mark
only
Sanchez.
time that they had competent quarterbacks, they beat them.
Yeah,
and Mark Sanchez was terrible. But when he was actually competent and they had a good defense, the Jets beat him.
Brett Favre.
With the Jets? And by that time, was Brett Favre finished, though?
Man, Brett Favre was so washed up.
And the Jets were terrible.
No, the Jets. He got hurt.
The Jets were bad, though. The Jets were
bad.
He was washed and then he got hurt.
Yeah, the Jets
he was
were
washed
bad.
and he got hurt.
I mean, they didn't have nobody in that division, and he just ran it for 15 years.
But I argue
he was washed in Green Bay.
He really was.
That's why he
but I
left.
argue the same thing. The hardest part, and you, literally as a Cowboys fan, the hardest part of the Cowboys winning or losing is they got to get out of the NFC East. And you can say, okay, that might be easier some years than other. Philly's always good. Giants are always good. The Cowboys are usually right there with them. But you're not going to win a Super Bowl if you play in a hard division.
Always good.
The Giants ain't always good.
And the Giants aren't always good.
They've been good for a while.
The Giants have not been good for a while.
No,
the Giants weren't even good when they won the Super Bowl.
I mean, the Giants weren't even good this past year.
Oh, well,
they
not
lucked
now.
into the playoffs.
I'm talking about you're talking about 26 years when you make that comment.
Well, I mean, okay.
Over those 26 years, the Giants have 3 Super Bowls appearances. The Eagles have 2.
Okay,
that's more. If you wanted to go in comparison to say the NFC North, who the Green Bay Packers play, they've only had one Super Bowl appearance.
Chicago at least has 2 appearances.
Yeah, they have 2. You're right. I forgot about Chicago.
You know. I mean, you know, the NFC East is not what it used to be, bro. I get it. Back in the early 90s when the Cowboys were good, the NFC East was great. They wasn't good. It was great.
Great.
But the last 20 years, not
But you
great.
always have one team. You always just have that one team that stands in their way. I mean, look about it. The Cowboys,
usually the general manager gets in their way.
But no, usually if you actually look at it,
yeah.
Jason Pierre-Paul's finger and Des Bryant's finger got the Giants a Super Bowl. If you remember that,
I don't.
Cowboys and Giants played two games to decide whether or not they would go to the Super Bowl. The year the Giants won the Super Bowl both years. Des Bryant put his pinky out of bounds when he caught the ball. Cowboys go home. Giants go to the playoffs.
Oh, have some better field awareness.
Dan Bailey kicked a field goal with his 80% accuracy that year. Jason Pierre-Paul's finger, which no longer exists, tipped that ball.
Giants hold the line better.
Hey, I'm just saying. That's what I'm. That's like,
you know,
it happens. It's
hold the line better. Nobody said you should allow him to get the field goal blocked.
It happens, man. That's what.
It happens.
I'm not making excuses. I'm just saying that's.
You're not.
It does sound like one.
I was going to say you're not.
I'm saying it's. Listen, if I said it's hard, I just said it's hard out there, man. That's all I said. It's not as.
It's ball versus Green Bay.
It's right. It's not right.
Exactly. Exactly. I think. I mean, don't get me wrong.
You stop Aaron Rodgers on the sideline, but Jared Cook.
Yeah, just cover the guy. Just cover the guy. Get a pass
or
rush.
call holding like they should have, but I'll leave that.
Get a pass rush. Jerry should have closed the windows when Mason Crosby was kicking in field goals.
They can't
he opened up the windows, and then all of a sudden the ball just miraculously turns back and goes in.
This is why I tell people, look, if they always say, oh, someone paid the refs. As if someone has been a lifetime Cowboys fan, I don't believe that anyone is paying the refs, because if it could be done, Jerry Jones would have done it multiple times.
I was going to say he would pay the refs for anybody.
That's a fact.
He broke the bank.
Yeah, to win. But here's the thing. I think all owners would do it. All owners would pay if they could. The amount of money that they make off playoff games and Super Bowl championships, they would all do. They would gladly pay. Gladly. And not even think twice about it. So, man, I'm looking at the highlights of this game, not to get off topic. Joker is cooking Ayton again. Cooking him again.
I forgot the game was even on.
Cooking him again. 24, Ayton got 6.
That's how we do Denver, man.
Jeez.
We're supposed to jump off before the game started. It's in the third quarter.
Yeah, that's great to say.
It's in the third quarter?
Yeah, it's halftime. He's getting cooked again.
Goddamn Aiden, boy.
Just not now. He got 7 rebounds. Joker only got 1, but he got 24 points. Ayton got 6. So,
yeah.
Oh well.
Cook.
Yeah, getting cooked again.
What's the score?
63-61, and then it's KD and Booker doing their thing again. KD got 21 and Booker got 19. Now the bench has a little bit of help. Got 3, 7, 9, 12 points.
They got somebody on their bench. I wonder why they don't play. I just can't think of his name.
TJ Warren?
Not TJ Warren. It's another one that used to play for the Magic.
Oh, get him, Joe.
Oh my God, I can't think of his name right now.
Yeah, they don't have much. Oh well.
That I think could be a good spark for them.
That could help. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, TJ Warren probably can, get him a couple buckets.
Once he got hurt, he blew his knee out in the bubble. He was killing it in the bubble, then got hurt, and he ain't been the same since.
I thought didn't he get a contract extension or something?
I don't know. I don't think so. Yeah, he has not been the same. So, all right, man, I'm gonna bust out of here.
All right, fellas. So, appreciate y'all. We'll do this again.
Absolutely.
All right, y'all.
All right, man. Hey, man.